the South American fans in many ways have been the best thing about this so far off the field. But we're about to get underway. Slavko Vincic of Slovenia is the referee. Marco De Bello of Italy is the VAR. Benfica in the red, Chelsea in the blue, and it's Chelsea defending the goal away to our right in the first half here on TalkSport 2. A choice of listening on this Saturday evening. England under-21s in the final against Germany over on TalkSport, and here on TalkSport 2, Chelsea looking to make the quarter-finals of the FIFA Club World Cup, and they already know they would face Palmeiras after their victory against Botafogo, a late own goal in extra time, winning that game earlier on, as Chelsea look to come forward now. A forceful run into the penalty area, and the shot was fired in from Neto on the right side of the penalty area, bobbled by Truban, but gathered at the second attempt.
Yeah, really good play, and you mentioned him earlier, and he's had a good tournament. Scored goals, looked dangerous, looked sharp, despite the hot and humid conditions, and what a start that would have been within the first minute for Chelsea to go 1-up. But really important to make that statement early on. If they can get the first goal, then you start to be able to control the tempo of the game. So unlucky there from Pedro Neto, but Truban, to be fair, was brilliant against Bayern Munich. He would be a better shot than that to beat him.
Yeah, Benfica played their previous game in this stadium when they beat Bayern Munich by a 1-0, their first ever victory in a competitive match against the Germans, although they've not won in 7 games against English clubs since they won at Spurs back in 2014, 3 draws and 4 defeats. And they've got a familiar figure in their technical area, Bruno Lage, the former Wolves coach, had a spell in Brazil with Botafogo before heading back to Benfica in the opening weeks of this season, and they were the double runners-up this season. Lost the league to Sporting, drew their 2 final games and lost the league by 2 points, and then conceded in the 11th minute of added time in the cup final when they were leading 1-0, and then eventually lost 3-1 as Pavlidis plays it forward now, but the flag's up for offside against Skelderup, and it will be a free kick for Chelsea, only 5 or 6 yards inside their own half.
Nigel, I can tell you, honestly, it's an amazing club to play for. It really is. First day of pre-season with 5,000 people at the training ground. We had 1 game in pre-season at the Stade de Luge against Lazio. There was 80,000 people. Presentation, all individually like it is here at the moment. Red carpet to see what's going to represent their team.
Now Delap looking to chase. He almost gets there on the edge of the penalty area. It was some very calm defending, or some very fortunate defending from Antonio Silva.
Really good ball in behind. Liam Delap, he's not overly quick, but he's pacey and he's strong.
He's bustling, isn't he?
He's bustling, and if he gets that half a yard across him, very difficult for a defender. No matter who the defender is, Antonio Silva and Nicolas Otamendi, the 2 physical centre halves, they'll know they're in the game here. And that was it. Really unlucky, very nearly in.
Former Chelsea and Benfica left-back Scott Minto with us here on TalkSport 2, and of course I was joking before the game, but he's part of a long list of fine players who've featured for both clubs. Of course, Enzo Fernandez on the field today, David Luiz, Nemanja Matic, Ramirez and Joao Felix, maybe less heralded in a Chelsea shirt in more recent years, but they've all featured for both these clubs.
What does that make me, number 6, number 7?
Number 1, obviously, yeah.
Now I know your line, face.
Only the 4th meeting between these 2 clubs. We mentioned the Europa League final in 2013, the previous season, when Chelsea won the Champions League. They also beat Benfica home and away in the quarter-finals, and that was the one easy game they had, maybe, or less difficult. There's an opportunity now for Arsenez inside the penalty area. Twists and turns, plays it back, but then the free kick has been given. But he is a dangerous player, Arsenez, because I wouldn't say he's out of position, but he's maybe not best used at right back.
I think he is out of position, but I think because he's such an intelligent player that he's able to get forward as much as possible, and that's why I think in the second half against Bayern Munich, Leroy Sané came on and he troubled him. When it's a one-on-one situation, he's not a defender, but he is a very intelligent footballer, very technically good. So Chelsea can try to get it in down the left-hand side, but I I don't know what's going to happen. It's Cole Palmer who's playing on the left, Pedro Neto who's playing on the right, and Enzo Fernandez almost as if it's a sort of number 10 role. But it's so fluid, it's difficult to say exactly with and without the ball exactly where everyone is. It's definitely Cole Palmer on the left and Neto on the right, and I'd stick Neto there and see if he can have a go at him.
Dahl does well to win it back here for Benfica. It's a high diagonal ball to this near side, and Di Maria, who loses out to Cucurella, and then seems to kick out at him as well. But Palmer comes forward now for Chelsea. Rarity for him, wearing short sleeves today. Shows how hot it is. Now Cucurella again, back in field to Badiashile, and the Scot was saying to left-footed central defenders, which is an interesting call. Neto now cutting in field from the right-hand side. 5.5 minutes played on TalkSport 2. Benfica 0, Chelsea 0. England still lead Germany 4 minutes into the second half over on TalkSport in the final of the UEFA Under-21 Championships. England looking to retain that title for the first time. Badiashile again, wide towards Palmer. Arsenez will quickly come across to him. And Chelsea having to be very patient again as they shuttle the ball across to the right-hand side. And now Lavia will find Palmer again, who looks to pirouette away from the challenge of Arsenez. But Arsenez does well to recover, wins it back. Palmer's fuming, believes he should have had a free kick, but nothing given. And now Dahl will play it wide to the far side. He's got support from Skelvedrup. Dahl plays it in field, but it's a poor ball. Straight to Caicedo. And now Enzo Fernandez. Right towards Neto again. The lap waits in the centre. Neto looks to hit the byline. Drives the cross in low, but it's deflected behind by Samuel Dahl. And it will be the game's first corner for Chelsea with 7 minutes played.
And that's what Pedro Neto can do, and probably why he's playing on the right, but he can do that on the left as well. Shape to come inside, go down the outside. Unless he went past him, not quite sure why his cross wasn't able to get into the box. He was trying to almost cut the ball back, which enabled Dahl to get a touch on it. But it's been a positive start from Chelsea.
And another wide player has joined Chelsea today. Jamie Gittings, from young English player, of course, has joined from Borussia Dortmund. There's Cucurella inside the penalty area, chases a reverse ball forward, but he was offside and it was cut out by Pavlidis anyway. What is it, Chelsea don't have enough wide players already, but Gittins will add to that competition. Of course, began at Manchester United, chose to go to Dortmund. It's a well-trodden route now for young English players, and now he's moved on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that with Chelsea. The only thing I'd say is that obviously with Mudryk being charged, he's probably going to be out for a long time. Jadon Sancho's now gone back to Manchester United. They're certainly not going to be at Chelsea next season. They probably did need another wide player, that player who sort of can be inverted on the left-hand side. So I'm not surprised that was the case, but I've been saying this for a long time. I think they need a goalkeeper in the centre half.
And they still do.
Well, exactly. I did say a striker as well. They've got Liam Delap. I wanted like a ready-made striker, but Liam Delap is an absolute snip at £30 million. And it will be interesting to see whether they might or might not. I don't think they will, but do they then look at Nicholas Jackson to offload him? Can they trust him and then maybe get one, enter the race of a Sesko or Gyökeres? I don't see it happening, but I just want that kind of almost sort of three in the spine of those senior pros. You kind of know what you're getting now, but it's a young, talented side, but it needs experience.
Cucurella now, down the left-hand side, infield to Palmer, but behind him, and Florentino is able to break things up for Benfica. Quickly played forward by Skelvedrup, looking for Pavlidis, but Chelsea win it back, and now Neto on the far side. 9 minutes played, 0-0. Enzo Fernandez with a cross into the penalty area, good delivery as well, but nobody on the end of it. But Cucurella does well to keep the ball in play, with that shock of hair flying behind him. Now Palmer with the cross in, and good goalkeeping by Trubin to leap forward and gather that on the edge of his 6-yard area.
Yeah, Enzo Fernandez just looking at Cole Palmer saying, get it up a little bit more. We'll get it to float it to the far post. It was a pretty simple save in the end from Trubin, but it's been a good game so far without sort of major chances. Both teams looking to try and play on the attack, on the front foot, not just sitting back. I think it's Chelsea who have had the better start.
But it's a rather strange, subdued atmosphere. As we were saying, the Bank of America Stadium, home of the Carolina Panthers, if you watch your NFL, Holds 75,000. I would be surprised if there was more than 20,000 in the stadium today. 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. Maybe people have got other things to do. Of course, it's a very crowded market in the United States. There's baseball going on. You may have other sporting things to watch.
I'm slightly surprised, I must admit. As I say, if it was midweek, I'd get it. Certainly at the start of a game, but with it being a weekend, I am slightly surprised, and that's where the players really have to generate their own motivation. You know, it's not as if you've got that crowd right behind you, all right against you. Well, you have to do it, but you're playing for Chelsea Football Club or Benfica. You absolutely have to be up for it.
Well, there was 33,000 here when Bayern lost against Benfica, and that was an afternoon kick-off. Now it's been given away by Badiashile, and Pavlidis was bearing down on goal, and it was won back by Colwill, but more uncertain defending from Badiashile, and Chelsea try and play out, but they're giving the ball away. Skelder up now down the left, tries to cross in, but it's blocked. Now Dahl, back again towards Florentino. Florentino with a high ball drifted to this near side, but Di Maria knew he was offside, doesn't go for it, but that was an opportunity for Benfica.
Do you know what? It's not just the fact that there's two left-footed centre-halves, but Badiashile, I mentioned about being fourth choice at best, really, is always liable for a rick. I think Levo Colwell's finding himself now towards the end of the season just gone. You know, you can see him being a little bit more responsible, not diving in, not making mistakes, not giving away penalties like he has. Badiashile, for me, is still liable for a rick, and I think you've got two centre-halves there where you know, Tosin, whatever you say about him, he's got more experience, he's more vocal. I think he's played really well. He's scored, of course, in this tournament. And I like Trevor Chalobah as well, so I'm just really surprised at these two centre-back partnerships today.
Now Palmer, wide towards Cucurella, who gallops forward down the left again into the penalty area. Low cross in, but on the stretch, it's cleared away at the far post by Dahl. And now Florentino finding Kirchu, and it's a good ball. Wide to Skelder up on the far side. Kirchu again, who is back in the team today. The Turkish international signed from Feyenoord. And he's another player who was still only 24, but has miles on the clock like Badiashile, but he looks a more rounded player in a different position, but he's a team leader for Benfica, and Badiashile is still some way off that for Chelsea at the moment. As Colwill tries to push off Pavlidis, but it's quickly won back on this near side. Right forward by Barrero. And now Di Maria popping up on the left. Has support from Skelderup. Di Maria plays it back towards Skelderup. It's a good ball. Colwill tried to shepherd it back, and in the end he clashes with Skelderup, and I think both players were holding on to each other as that ball spun into the penalty area, and in the end Chelsea are able to clear.
Do you know what? That is world-class defending from Reece James there. It really is. A little 1-2. He's got in behind Levi Colwill. Reece James is waiting for Robert Sanchez to come out, and he's not coming out. It's one of those where you don't want to pass it back because it's got to be inch perfect in terms of the weight. You'll be putting him under pressure, and he will be closed down by the Benfica player. And yet he's used his strength and waited for Sanchez to come out. Brilliant defending.
13 minutes played. You're listening to the FIFA Club World Cup live on TalkSport 2, presented by DAZN. Watch every game of the FIFA Club World Cup live and for free on DAZN. Sign up at DAZN.com. Now Caicedo wide towards James, who has the captain's armband today for Chelsea. Forward towards the lap, a cute header in field, but Chelsea will clear, and then Cucurella catching Di Maria. And Di Maria, who is growing at the temples these days at the age of 37, has a word as well towards Cucurella. Slavko Vincic says, I'll referee this game, and in the end it's a free kick.
I think it's Cucurella, he knows he's got the strength on him because of it. He's got the youth, so he's got to try and be tight to Angel Di Maria for sure. Benfica is showing both in wide situations, left and right, that they can be very dangerous indeed.
Di Maria back on his feet. Just under 15 minutes played here. Benfica 0, Chelsea 0. Still England 2, Germany 1 in the final of the UEFA Under-21s Championship. And if the timings go to plan, we'll bring you the conclusion of that game during the half-time break in this one. As Kirchu plays it forward from the free kick for Benfica. Lofted high for the barrel-chested Pavlidis, but it's cleared away by Colwill. Now James again. On towards Fernandez and further wide to the right-hand side of Neto. Chelsea are having to do much of their work in front of the Benfica defence at the moment. Then they look to try and spring the trap with a long ball forward looking for Cucurella down the left, but it's overhit, and yet may have been offside anyway.
He may have been, but that's what he can do. He can add that as a left back. He can almost playing like a left wing back, other times as a sort of central midfielder, which allows one of the holders then to go on, which is normally Enzo Fernandez. And we haven't touched on the fact that it's Lavia, Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez in the same team. So he's dropped Noni Madueke. I personally want to see him in the team every time. I think him and Neto as a wide players from a full-back's point of view, but even just from a general team point of view, they had so much width being able to take on the full-backs, and then he's almost have to choose whether it's going to be, it should be Cole Palmer, and then two of the three of Lavia, Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. But interesting, he's dropped Madueke, he's playing Enzo Fernandez, and Caicedo and Lavia are playing alongside each other.
And Madueke comes into the Gittings conversation as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, look, do you know what? I'm a big fan of Madueke, I really am. I like him on the right-hand side, but I've seen him enough on the left. I remember doing a game for TalkSport at Stamford Bridge against Manchester United. He played on the left and gave Mazuari a really tough time. And he can do that old-fashioned sort of left wing. He can look to go inside, then go down the outside. Nowadays it's all about being the inverted winger coming inside and maybe having a shot themselves. But I genuinely think he's very, very versatile.
Germany have equalised against England. They've come from 2-0 down. More than that at the moment as Cole Palmer comes forward now for Chelsea down the left. Whips the cross into the penalty area, and it was a delicious ball. Just begging to be gobbled up by somebody wearing Chelsea blue, but nobody gambled at the far post.
What a ball. What a ball. And that's what Cole Palmer can do, not playing like your typical left winger. But he's another one who's actually quicker than you think. And he just gets that extra half a yard, bends it across, and someone's got to get in there.
Chelsea coming forward again here. As Cucurella, who's got space, rather narrow down the left, but it's a good ball in, nodded down by Neto. Enzo Fernandez with the shot, but it's blocked by the veteran Otamendi, and it spins behind for a corner. So just to reiterate, over on TalkSport, it is now England 2, Germany 2. Germany have come from 2-0 down in that final. At the moment, they are heading for extra time in that game, but a long way to go, around half an hour. And listening to Joe and Darren during the first half, England were right on top. They could have been maybe 4-0 up before Germany scored, but it's a very different game now. As Chelsea come forward from the short corner, swung in by Palmer, and it's beyond a lunging Colwill at the far post, and behind for a goal kick. And it's a very open stadium, and there is a wind swirling around at pitch level at the moment, although it's a very warm wind, I'm sure, on such a hot day.
I wonder if that wind just caught Palmer's cross there, because he didn't have any pressure on the ball. There were three Chelsea players towards the far post, and he certainly overhit it. He would have just underhit it a little bit more. It'd be interesting to see if one of those Chelsea players would have got a free header at the far post.
Now Florentino, wide to the far side, unscalded up. Florentino is a young player who is immensely strong. Tries to find Barrero, but it's won back well by Lavia, and Chelsea can counter-attack now with Neto coming in field from the right, finding Delap at the near post. Delap with a cross in, which deflects over the head of Palmer, and now Cucurella hits it right-footed, cleared off the line by Antonio Silva, who celebrates like he scored a goal.
Absolutely fantastic defending, and Nige, being a defender, that is as good as a goal. He's standing there at the far post, brilliant play first of all, clever play from Liam Delap, then he cuts it back. Marco Correa takes the touch, feints inside, chops inside on his right foot, curls it to the far post, and keeper's beaten. Truban's absolutely beaten. It's going in the top corner, and yet Silva's positioned himself in the right way. That is as good as a goal.
They didn't have right-footed left-backs in your day, did they? Now Delap, challenged right on the edge of the penalty area by Silva, who's had some games so far. There was that piece of defending in the opening moments when he looked set to walked the ball into his own net and then recovered. But here is Palmer coming forward for Chelsea now, cutting in field, left-hand side. Palmer goes for goal. Brilliant save by Trubin to palm the ball away at the near post for a corner. But Chelsea beginning to cook in this heat.
Yeah, they're on top now, aren't they, without a doubt. And Cole Palmer, we talked about how he's not your traditional winger, but he can just go one side and then feint and go the other. And he only needs half a yard. Really good strike, good save. You know, let's say that Michael Correa, he hasn't got a right foot, but how good was that shot?
Well, Enzo Maresca is deep in conversation with the fourth official at the moment, but Chelsea do have a corner kick. It was an excellent effort from Cucurella because he got the lift to take it over Trubin, and he was very unlucky that Antonio Silva was back on the goal line, and it was a really good goal line clearance. 20 minutes played on TalkSport 2. Benfica 0, Chelsea 0. Chelsea work it short, and now Caicedo tips it forward for Neto, who stays onside. Cucurella on the overlap again. The cross in though, headed away by Arsnes, and now knocked wide by Caicedo again. Palmer, lively so far. Another really good ball into the penalty area. Headed away well though by Silva. And this spell of Chelsea momentum is broken because Skelderup has been fouled by Cucurella, and it will be a free kick for Benfica in midfield.
Yeah, he didn't really need to make that challenge as well because Chelsea are very, very much on top at the moment. Dominating midfield, getting the ball out wide, creating these chances. And it was really good play from Chelsea. Neto to the lap, he cuts it back. He couldn't have picked a more perfect spot. But he didn't look at Antonio Silva, who just dropped off on the line. And Bruno Lage, the Benfica manager, he's not happy with what he's seeing, but he should be happy with that defending. Absolutely brilliant play.
Chelsea, the dominant team with 21 minutes played, but it's still 0-0. England 2, Germany 2, over on TalkSport. Two huge games across the TalkSport network for you this evening. And tomorrow at 5 o'clock here on TalkSport 2, we have the European champions against Lionel Messi's team, Paris Saint-Germain versus Miami FC, Inter Miami, in the round of 16. And myself and Scott will be back with Paul Ross, 2 a.m. Tuesday morning, late Monday night, for Manchester City against Al Hilal, the Saudi Arabian team, at the end of the round of 16, as Di Maria comes forward now. And Chelsea and Manchester City are now in the same half of the draw. They could potentially be on course to meet each other in the semi-final.
Well, look, let's not have the sort of European arrogance, but I think
Palmeiras are a good team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoever plays.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Whether it's Chelsea or Benfica, it's not going to be an easy game in the quarterfinals, and they're not just representing their team and their fans, they're representing their continent.
That game is in Philadelphia, 2 a.m. on July the 5th, which is early Saturday morning, and you can guarantee their fans will back it out.
It's going to be an amazing atmosphere, it really is. And from Infantino's point of view as well, he's going to be wanting not just European teams in the semi-finals, he's going to be wanting to see a bit of a mixture.
Well, of course, the semi-finals and the final all being held in New York. And there is a possibility, or certainly July the 8th is the date for the semi-final from this half of the draw, which could be Chelsea against Manchester City, but there are bumps in the road for both clubs before then, and I think Al Hilal will be very keen to give Manchester City a good game live on TalkSport on Tuesday morning.
I actually think they'll give a better game than the one I did against Juventus, but I was so impressed by Manchester City that I would be very surprised if they don't get through to the semi-finals. It'd be great, wouldn't it? From an English point of view, a Chelsea City semi-final, therefore a guaranteed English team in the final. See, I would be hoping that it would be Chelsea, but still, I think if Chelsea can get to the semis, I think Enzo Maresca is very proud of that.
Well, Manchester City, the top scorer so far in the competition, and the only team to get through to the round of 16 with 3 wins.
Interesting, isn't it? Of all the groups, 8 groups, there's only one team that won all 3 games.
Free kick here for Benfica. Di Maria swings it in, and I think he was going for goal in the end because Chelsea had such a high line that Robert Sanchez was alert to the danger. 24 minutes played, Benfica 0, Chelsea 0, and we must have a winner here tonight, with extra time and penalties if necessary. And considering the burning heat, it has been a very good game so far in terms of the tempo.
Listen, I know there's a lot of people out there who don't think there should be extra time and just go straight to penalties. I'm actually not one of them, but in these conditions, I don't think they need to have extra time.
I am slightly surprised with the fact it's in America that they haven't maybe chosen to go for penalties straight away in this, because that's a model that they used to really bring in first of all. And I would love to see them do the sort of shootouts they had in North American soccer, the one-on-ones with 5 seconds to score. That would be great, but
that's it.
They never picked that up. But a bit of a test of footballing nerve, I think, and certainly football ability is gathered by the Ukrainian Anatoly Trubin. 21 clean sheets for him in all competitions this season, including one against Bayern Munich. Benfica had a difficult opening game. They were 2-0 down to Boca Juniors, but in the end Otamendi scored at both ends in a 2-2 draw. And it was an Angel Di Marina penalty late on which got them the draw. They then beat Auckland 6-0 before that victory against Bayern. And Chelsea pretty low-key during their group stage. They got the wins against Esperance and LAFC. And basically, in the game against Flamengo, they were beaten by the better side in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, look, Flamengo were the better side in the first half. I think the best bit Chelsea had was sort of 10 minutes of the second half. But once it sort of went 1-1, 2-1, and obviously Nicholas Jackson came on only for 4 minutes and then got sent off. It was only one winner there, really. It was disappointing. But it's about getting through, and then once you get to the knockout stages, then you win the games.
20 minutes to play in Bratislava. It's still England 2, Germany 2 in the under-21 final. That game is live on TalkSport. Download the TalkSport app and you can swipe between the two games in the live commentary section. We could have 2 games going the distance here tonight. Of course, we began an hour later than England did as Chelsea try and come forward again. It's taken down well by Nato on the far side. James with a cross in just over the head of Cucurella, leaping at the far post. And it will be a throw-in for Benfica on this near side with nearly 27 and a half minutes played. It's 0-0, and Bruno Lage with a shrug of the shoulders inside the Benfica technical area because his team have barely had a shot. One shot, that's on target. It's been all Chelsea really. 4 shots, 3 on target, 59% possession. Feels like it's a little bit more. The possession that Benfica had have maybe been in their own half. But what's impressed me, not just what Chelsea have been like with the ball, but actually without the ball as well. They're pressing even in this kind of heat and humidity. It's a firm header forward by Lavia there as he rose above Kirchu inside the Benfica half to almost nod it through towards Palmer, but Benfica will clear. Now Caicedo again, quickly forward by Badiashile. Palmer stretching out a telescopic leg but unable to control, and Benfica have it again. Now it's Arsnes down this near side, the right. Back towards Leandro Barreiro, the Luxembourg international in the Benfica team. You don't get too many Luxembourgians in the Champions League. In fact, he's the only one, or he was last season when Benfica qualified from the league phase but lost to Barcelona in the round of 16 as it just breaks down between James and Neto on the far side. Benfica try and play it forward, but Kirchu can't find Skelberup, and in the end it's straight out of play, and it's entered a rather scrappy phase.
It has, just in the last couple of minutes. It's really because Chelsea haven't done too much with the ball, but they're also not allowing Benfica to get any time on the ball themselves. It's really impressive. I'd imagine there'll be a lot of substitutions being made in the second half because Chelsea have been on top. You'd be expecting them to be at least a goal ahead by now. That's not the case, but they are expending a lot of energy with their closing down. It's difficult to do in these conditions at full 90.
And both teams heading over for a cooling break. with the temperature not far short of 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So 0-0 with half an hour played on TalkSport 2. Chelsea with the best opportunities. Cucurella's shot headed off the line by Antonio Silva. We also saw a fine slave from Truban at the near post to keep out Cole Palmer. Benfica have offered very little in response at the other end. They're also having a cooling break in the under-21 final, where it's 2-2 between England and Germany, with 17 minutes to play there in Bratislava. England 2-0 up, but Germany have come roaring back either side of half-time. And don't forget, next week we begin our coverage of the Women's Euros on the TalkSport network. The opening game, Wednesday night, Switzerland against Norway. 8 o'clock kick-off on TalkSport with Adrian Durham, Joe Shannon and Tash Dowie. And then next Saturday, 5 o'clock on TalkSport 2, Wales against the Netherlands with Cameron Pope and Rehan Skinner, the West Ham manager and former Wales assistant coach. And then 8 o'clock on TalkSport, the opening game for the Lionesses against France with Adrian, Joe and Tash. And then Wednesday, the second round of games, another doubleheader, 5 o'clock on TalkSport, England against the Netherlands. And then 8 o'clock here on TalkSport 2, it is Wales against France. And the two home nations meet each other on Sunday the 13th of July, which is 2 weeks tomorrow, and that's another 8 o'clock kickoff on TalkSport. And don't forget, we're not too far away from the start of the domestic season. Of course, the EFL lower division start the first weekend in August. The Premier League begins on the 15th, Friday night, live on TalkSport, exclusive to TalkSport and National Radio. It is Liverpool against Bournemouth. 12:30 on the Saturday, it is Villa against Newcastle. And then the Monday night game, Leeds against Everton. All those games live and exclusive on the TalkSport network. Teams re-emerging from the technical areas following the cooling break. I notice the ice towels are out once again. I was once talking to an old friend of mine, sadly no longer with us, Paul Mariner, who played at the 1982 World Cup. Oh, yes. First game in Bilbao, it was an absolute furnace. At half-time, Don Howe had got buckets in the dressing room full of ice water, put the towels in, gave the players the ice towels, draped them round their shoulders before the team tour from Ron Greenwood. They all gave them back at half-time. They were all bone dry.
I'm not surprised. Ahead of his time.
Absolutely. A visionary.
Yeah, brilliant. Back in 1982 to do something like that. I do remember one game, it was the first game of the season. It was absolutely roasting. And they actually ran an ice bath for us at half-time. And there was only me and one other player that sat in there at half-time. But honestly, I felt great in the second half. And I know I would not have felt that way.
Even if it was psychological?
Well, yeah, but psychological. Yeah, it probably was, but it definitely was physiological as well, without a doubt. Just keeping the body cool, and therefore you're able to run on.
Now Palmer coming forward for Chelsea, strikes the ball low on the edge of the penalty area, but never got hold of it left-footed, and it's a comfortable save for Truban.
Yeah, but again, it's down to Chelsea. There's been a break. It's almost a bit like sort of like a half-time break where the managers have been able to say what they want to say, try and tweak a few things. There's no doubt about it. Bruno Lage was the one who was more with his body movements, not happy with what he's seen so far. So it's really important Chelsea carry on the front foot in the way they were. It's a decent shot, but it's a simple save really for Truban.
Now Di Maria, terrific ball from him, swung across the field from right to left for Dahl, tries to find Skelverup, but really good defending to pick his pocket from Reece James. And now Chelsea come forward on the counter-attack. A high, loopy ball towards this near side from Delat, looking for Palmer. One bounce, though, straight out of play.
Yeah, there was a chance of a counter-attack there, wasn't there? Nicole Palmer was looking for that early on. It didn't quite happen. And by the time that Liam Delat tried it, saw it, and overhit that completely. Palmer, no chance whatsoever.
Just to go back to the World Cup in Spain, England players lost on average £17 in that first game. I know sports science has moved on. I mean, refuelling in those days was a six-pack of Double Diamond in the coach afterwards, wasn't it? So,
It wasn't just in the early 80s, it was in the 90s as well, mate, I can tell you.
Now Lavia's been fouled for Chelsea. All very different now.
Brian Robson, of course, scored that early goal, didn't he, against France?
Really good World Cup.
Yeah, it was.
First time England had played in one since 1970.
That's right, yeah. 74-78, didn't qualify. Yeah.
Anyway, back to the present day. 35 minutes played here. Chelsea have got a free kick. Caicedo is over it. Benfica 0, Chelsea 0. Still, England 2, Germany 2 in the under-21 final. Live on Talk Sport. And we will aim to bring you the closing stages of normal time at least at half-time of this game. We'll see how the timings marry up when we have the half-time whistle here. With James, plays it in field. We'll also be looking back on the opening game for the Lions during half-time as well. A successful one as well. Live and exclusive on Talk Sport this morning. Now Di Maria plays it wide to this near side for Benfica. Of course, he doesn't have that electric pace anymore, Angel Di Maria, but he's rather like Ryan Giggs. He's somebody who's adapted his game with age.
Yeah, 100%. And the way he sort of comes in, he's still got that little turn of the body and look like he's going to go on the outside, comes on the inside, and you never lose that class and strike of the ball. So Marco Correa has to be careful. It's interesting now, he just falls down the right-hand side, and Pedro Neto came onto his left, looked up to try and cross the ball. He didn't, but who was there in the middle of the box? Marco Correa.
Now Antonio Silva again seemed to be second favourite for that high ball with Delap, but somehow seemed to win the header and bring the ball under control behind Delap, who looked rather confused by it and came away rather ruefully rubbing his eyebrow.
He's just such a handful, isn't he? And sometimes as a defender, when you're under a little bit of pressure or you're trying to play a certain way, you're not able to break them down. That ball over the top, even if it's almost a 50-50 ball, you know that he will battle. Played with Mark Hughes at Chelsea, and boy, you could just get the ball up to him and have two defenders hanging off him. Still was able to bring it down, get it out wide, and then get into the box. And Liam Delap, not quite comparing him to Mark Hughes just yet, but he's that type of physicality.
A real throwback. I know some people were suggesting on social media that Chelsea really needed to sign him after he'd gone somewhere else, but in many ways, why wait?
Well, I mean, costing about 80 million
exactly
a year.
Lavia now finding Cucurella, who breaks into the penalty area. Another outstanding save from Truben. Such a strong hand to block that shot from Cucurella when he seems certain to score.
That is an amazing save. That's as good as what Antonio Silva did, dropping onto the line and stopping a goal, because Marco Correa was free. He's taken a touch. He knows the defenders are coming in on him, so he has to then, in his second touch, take the shot. It's a really good shot into the far post. He side-footed it, but with pace. And Truben somehow has not only got his arm out, but is up so quickly. It's a brilliant save from the keeper.
That was almost Peter Schmeichel-like, yes. The old star jump.
Absolutely.
Now James, wide to the far side of Neto again, the Chelsea right. 7 minutes to play in the first half, 0-0. But Chelsea the dominant team, but Cucurella heads the ball outside the penalty area as Chelsea aim to keep control, and then Badiashile almost runs into Bruno Lage on this near side. But they just about avoid each other, and it will be a throw-in for Benfica down their right, but they really are living dangerously here, allowing Chelsea so much room in behind, and they're relying on the brilliance of their goalkeeper at the moment. Chelsea with 6 attempts, 5 on target, and according to FIFA, Benfica haven't had any. But now they have a free kick on the halfway line, skeldered up, challenge from behind by James. It's taken quickly, and it's Dahl who has made the run, and he got to the ball on the byline and then got it caught under his feet, and it bobbles almost apologetically straight out of play.
Yeah, the one moment that they're able to sort of try and get him behind the Chelsea defence, and in the end the left backs just overplayed it with his first touch. And you're just looking at a replay of the Cucurella effort. It's a brilliant save. And Chelsea can't do much more. They've dominated possession, they've created more chances, they've been in Benfica's half, and up against the goalkeeper, who was brilliant, by the way, against Bayern Munich.
Well, he's one of Europe's best, maybe slightly under the radar because he plays in the Portuguese league, but I think Benfica are very lucky to have him.
Well, look, I mean, I'll always be biased towards Benfica. For me, it's one of the biggest clubs in Europe, but just playing in one of the smaller leagues. So it's an absolute honour to play for Benfica. And I'm sure Trubin feels that way, but it will be interesting if he keeps on playing like this, with one of the big boys in the big leagues suddenly come calling. What could happen?
Well, they are a team who have 38 league titles. Of course, there's the big three in Portugal, themselves, Sporting and Porto. And Sporting have the edge, although it will be interesting to see what happens next season. Of course, Ruben Amorim's influence will be much less than it was at the start of the season, of course, and there's talk that Gyökeres could be on his way, so things may swing back in Benfica's favour. Cucurella now with another cross in down the left-hand side, and he overcooked that. Had the opportunity to pick out a number of blue shirts, but sent the ball sailing over all of their heads.
Yeah, and look, it's a really poor cross. He knows it, but he's getting in behind all the time. He's getting into the box, he's getting in down the left, he's coming inside and being the inverted midfielder at times. And it's not easy to sort of help dominate a game from left back, but boy, he's such an intelligent player, athletic clearly, but intelligent about what to do, and in the end just overhit that cross.
Benfica again look to pick out Pavlidis. It was Antonio Silva with a long ball forward, but Pavlidis at the moment, who's a big guy, and he's doing plenty of running on a very hot day and seeing nothing of the ball.
He's not going to last the 90 or 120 if he goes for that.
He's not playing like this, he's not.
No, absolutely.
And it's not his fault.
It's not his fault at all.
I mean, he's built like a Mitrovic.
Yeah.
But he's done well to lay it off wide now. And there's an opportunity for Kirchu to bring it forward. Wide towards Pavlidis. He delivers it back in towards Kirchu. And it's a really good header away by Caicedo. And then Florentino tries to play it wide again towards Pavlidis, but once again it's out of play.
Yeah, Benfica have to get forward. They have to start creating chances. They haven't tested Robert Sanchez at all as yet, but just the odd time they can get into Chelsea's half and they'll be happy with that as well. But in the next stage is, right, can we test the keeper? Because at the moment, Chelsea have been really good. I don't see how you can really criticise Chelsea apart from the fact that still haven't been able to stick the ball in the back of the net. Done everything but.
3 minutes to play in the first half. Sanchez now plays a wayward ball towards this near side, and Badiashile maybe just took his eye off it for a moment, and it spins out of his grasp, straight out of play, and Benfica out of nothing have an attacking throw-in.
Yeah, so it's a poor pass from Sanchez, really. It's a kind of a lazy one, and he's just played it quickly, but not to Badiashile's feet.
Kirchu rather dives in on Fernandes on this near side, and it will be a free kick for Chelsea, midway inside their own half, and Enzo Fernandez barks at the referee with his Chelsea shirt stuck to his torso on a very sweaty day in North Carolina. As Palmer now on this near side, you can see he's almost trying too hard at times. He's someone who's really trying to play his way back into form, but he's done some good things in this game, some great balls in, and maybe if things are going for you, somebody's on the end of them and it's an assist. Yeah,
look, I think he's better either as a 10 or playing on the right hand side, but he has whipped some good balls in from the left. As I say, he's not known for sort of out and out pace, but he's sharp and he gets half a yard and then he can whip the ball across, which is what's happened, and others have to read that and get there. But you're right, I think he's dropping into places, he's wanting to get as many touches of the ball, but sometimes he just drops too deep and he's not going to hurt the opposition in those particular places. So much as hard as it is, he's got to be disciplined, stay in that final third. When the ball comes to you, then do something, very much like he did in the Europa Conference final.
Now Caicedo and Colwill further wide towards James. Chelsea again are having to play the game of patience here, midway inside the Benfica half, with every red shirt, including Pavlidis, back behind the ball. Now Caicedo shrugs off Florentino. Badiashile. Now Lavia Just tries to force it with a ball through the eye of the needle to try and pick out Enzo Fernandez. Difficult ball to control, and it's all the way through to Truba.
Yeah, if you're going to fizz the ball like that, and it was the right idea, but if you're going to, then it's got to be inch perfect, straight to somebody's feet, and it wasn't straight to Enzo's feet at all there.
Into the final 2 minutes of normal time in Bratislava. Still England 2, Germany 2 over on TalkSport. Now Skelderer with a good run forward here for Benfica. Cuts infield from the left, and his shot there was blocked at the near post by James. But Benfica have it again now with Di Maria. And there will be a minimum of 3 more minutes. As soon as the half-time whistle goes here, we'll be off to Bratislava for the conclusion of normal time at the moment in the under-21 final. Still 2-2 between England and Germany. England 2 up in the first half. As Caicedo tries to bring it forward here, and Barreiro clatters into him in the centre circle. Slavko Vincic has a decision to make here because both players are down in apparent agony, and it was a poor challenge really. It's Dahl actually, the Benfica player, who's down.
But I think he's given the foul against Caicedo, but Caicedo, as soon as he went into it, fell on the floor, rolling about, put his hands in the air as if like this is a serious injury. I hope he's okay.
Well, it was Dahl who was caught by Fernandez.
A little bit earlier, yeah. And then Caicedo's gone in for a challenge with Barreiro, and straight away, as soon as he's fallen down, he's put his hands in the air, he's in agony, he's rolling around, and hopefully it's one of those sort of painful knocks rather than any kind of ligament damage, but we'll have to wait and see whether he can carry on.
He's flexing that right knee at the moment, and he does look to be in some pain. The spider cam is swooping down low, which has been a feature of the television coverage during this Club World Cup as well.
The thing is, Nigel, what you don't want is in this competition is a serious injury. And look, nobody wants a serious injury, but you certainly don't want your player of the year. I mean, he's had a sensational season for Chelsea. And then obviously everyone's gone to the internationals, and then you meet up with the World Cup. It's been relentless. And I'm sure the players will be thinking, and they've been professional enough and saying, look, we're playing this, it's absolutely fine, but we're going to need a rest after it. But what they don't want is an injury, and especially a serious injury as well. So hopefully he will be okay. Hopefully he'll be okay to carry on in this game.
Well, Chelsea won't get long, because if they do reach the final, that's on the 13th of July, and the Premier League starts a month later.
Unless they'll give me a call and say,
yeah, no. Well, if you can develop your right foot, you never know.
No, but they might give Gianfranco Zola a call.
Yeah, Zola, maybe Kerry Dixon as well.
Kerry,
you know.
Kerry.
I mean, Cundy at the back.
Pat Nevin. Cundy.
Well, Pat could play now, I think.
Yeah.
I used to go running with Pat when we were working at the World Cup in 2010.
Did you?
There's nothing worse than being outrun by somebody with 2 artificial hips. Not just outrun, he's miles ahead.
I was going to say there's nothing on him as well. So I remember in pre-season, Dennis Wise. I mean, you know, him and Gavin Peacock, they were so competitive in those really long runs. You know, in the old school we used to do those long runs around Virginia Water. And they were desperate, and they weren't. Whoever lost out on that particular run was gutted for a good few days.
Well, gone beyond the 3 minutes of added time.
So yeah, the reason I'm saying that is because he had nothing on him at all.
No.
It was a very good long distance runner.
Pat remains so well into his retirement as Benfica have to defend here. We've gone beyond the initial 3 minutes due to the injuries as Correa will gather on this near side, back infield towards Palmer. Palmer looks to pick his way through, and in the end the shot was blocked by Antonio Silva, and it spins high and behind for a corner. They're into added time in Bratislava. Still England 2, Germany 2.
Brilliant play. Great cross-field pass, and again Correa being there, taking a touch, just playing it inside for Cole Palmer. Once in the box, defenders don't want to make a tackle. He's gone past one. I thought he should have just tried to whack it as hard as he could. He's tried to side foot it, and in the end, I don't think that was going to reach him. But Chelsea have a corner.
Germany have hit the crossbar towards the end of that under-21 final, so it's really tense in Bratislava. Chelsea have a corner here. 4.5 minutes into added time at the end of the first half here. This could be the final chance. And it's swung into that near post and then headed away. Di Maria will gather, and that is half-time at the start of the second half, and it's Skelderup who has gone off, and the player who has come on is Kerim Atakolu, the Turkish international. 18 goals and 16 assists this season. He was a regular goal scorer in the Champions League, and they weren't getting too much from Skelderup, who was the match winner against Bayern in the previous game, so Atakolu may give more support to Pavlidis in the Benfica attack. Chelsea in all blue, attacking the goal away to our right in the second half. A long ball forward from Badiashile, looking for Delap, but it's gathered by Truben, who from Benfica's point of view was unquestionably their star player in the first half with a couple of excellent saves, as Atakolu plays it forward, and it's a run forward for Kirchu from midfield, but it's back with Robert Sanchez once again. Now Lavia finding James, and Chelsea looking to work their way through the thirds here, but Caicedo going all the way back towards Sanchez.
It's a little bit cooler now, isn't it? Sunshine, not quite as strong, but it's still, the lad's been tired from what's happened in the first half. The substitutions will come into play, fascinating as we've already discussed. You know, what true options, so many players on the bench, but what true options do Chelsea have in terms of trying to change the game? And I'm not surprised that Bruno Lage has made his substitution. I think Reece James played really well defensively in that first half, coming out a little bit more offensively now.
Now Badiashile, Lavia with a clever ball to find Palmer down the left, the cross in, and it's sliced away by Antonio Silva. Liam Delap was waiting there to apply the finishing touch. In fact, it was Otamendi who dived in at the near post, almost an own goal from him. It would have been another own goal in this Club World Cup, but it's only a corner.
Yeah, I mean, they're horrible balls to defend when they're whipped in and you're running back towards your own goal. You know the forward is right behind you, and Delap was ready just to tap it in from 6 yards out. So Otamendi, very brave, making the touch, and unfortunately favours the brain. It went over the bar in the end.
Palmer on this near side, back to Caicedo. Now Palmer again, rushing aside. Atakolu up towards the edge of the penalty area, clips a high ball wide, looking for Colwell. Right sort of idea, but not quite the execution, and it's gone behind, and it will be a goal kick.
Yeah, see, where I like Cole Palmer being sort of central a little bit on the right, and then he can come into his left foot and whip the balls in there, and he just overplayed it a little bit. He's still doing well on the left hand side. That was a wonderful ball in that Otamendi was thinking, I've got to go for this, but I don't want to. And when it came off his leg, he was praying that it wouldn't go in as an own goal, and it didn't in the end.
Chelsea really carrying on where they left off at the end of the first half. They're dominating this game at the moment. They're into added time in the first period of extra time in the Under-21 Championship, as Caicedo lets fly from long range, right-footed, fully 30 yards out, but it's wide.
Why not? Why not have a pop? He doesn't score too many, does he? But Benfica just dropping in, saying, okay, try and break us down. And with that first touch, you can see he wanted to do it. The first touch played out 3 or 4 yards ahead of him for him to run onto. It's a decent enough strike, but you do get the feeling, though, nice, and he's got to be a wonder strike from 25 yards out to beat this goalkeeper.
So far today, certainly, as Lavia has it now for Chelsea. Heads into a phalanx of Benfica players, but comes out with the ball. Delap looking to hold it up on the edge of the penalty area, but in the end, the whistle goes from Slavko Vincic, and it's a free kick for Benfica, and it's Otamendi, the player, who's gone down, holding his face on the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, holding his face, and Liam Delap quite close by. It's the battle between those two, isn't it? He loves it, Liam Delap. You do get the feeling that while he loves the physicality. He's able to understand where the line is, and that's something which I think, if he can play like that, we know Nicholas Jackson does as well, but he doesn't seem to know where the line is. That trust is so important. Fascinating to see who's going to be the dominant number 9 for Chelsea this season, or centre forward anyway.
Well, Benfica's centre forward, who was number 14, Vangelis Pavlidis, has just been booked. First of the game for a challenge which was unnecessary, really. He was on the ground and he rather lunged out to make the challenge, and it means if Benfica win this game, he would be unavailable for the quarter-final against Palmeiras. Palmeiras beating Botafogo 1-0 in extra time earlier today, as Neto swings in a cross which is deep but nodded down by Cucurella. Caicedo was looking to wind up for another long-range shot, and in the end it's Badiashile who does, and it takes a deflection, loops high over the top.
I must admit, we've just had 2 shots in the last couple of minutes. One from Moises Caicedo, who hardly ever scores, and another one from Badiashile, who centre-half, who also hardly ever scores. But I think that tells me that Enzo Maresca sort of said, look, if you get up there and there's no options, you have a chance for a shot, have a shot.
Well, it's a corner for Chelsea, played short to Cucurella, who now needs to get back and ensure he's not offside because he was right on the byline. It's out of play anyway. 2 balls on the pitch at the moment as Chelsea have a throw-in. And that's why the referee, with a blast on the whistle, brings play to a halt once again. Half-time and extra time in Bratislava. England leading 3-2 against Germany. Over on TalkSport in the under-21 final. So they are 15 minutes away from back-to-back UEFA under-21 titles. Thomas Tuchel is there tonight, and I wonder if 1 or 2 players are giving him food for thought for when the World Cup qualifiers resume in September. I suppose a lot of it will depend on how much game time these players get with their clubs.
Yeah. I don't know if it's being controversial, but I can't see many, despite, and hopefully we do win it, I can't see many getting into the Thomas Tuchel squad.
Well, Harvey Elliott's been the star player, but will he play for Liverpool?
No.
Well, there you go.
I think he's got to make a move. Tino Livramento's been the star as well. He's got half a chance. I just think Thomas Tuchel's all about the here and now and wants experienced players more than younger players.
Interesting. Well, on the evidence of what happened against Senegal, we'll need plenty of experience over the next few months. Whatever happens in terms of the results, performances will also be scrutinised. That's the nature of the job, as Chelsea win it back on the edge of the Benfica penalty area. It's in towards Delap, who tries to squeeze it further forward to Fernandes, but Benfica will clear. But at the moment, Benfica can barely leave their half. 52 minutes played, 0-0. Caicedo again tries to slip it through towards Delap, who was on the move on the edge of the penalty area, but it's deflected behind again, and it will be another corner kick here for Chelsea.
It was actually really good play from Chelsea, because Benfica tried to press them, and Badiashile is probably not the most technical of the Chelsea players out there. He did really well. Touch, pass, played through the lines. Caicedo tried to really fizz it again to Liam Delap, and it ended up being a corner. Just got to keep on pressing, believing that they will be able to tire Benfica out and break them down.
7th corner for Chelsea. Benfica haven't had any. And it's an outswinger towards Badiashile, who rose well, but he tried to nod towards goal, and it's well over the top.
Yeah, he's disappointed with that, but it's a difficult header. There's 3 or 4 players around there. Tall Benfica defenders. Probably would have been better just to try and flick it on rather than try and score himself. And then Trubin can't react to that one, but trying to shoot or trying to head it, it's gone over.
Chelsea have had 10 attempts on goal now, 5 on target. Benfica have had 1 attempt off target. That's the extent of Chelsea's domination so far in the game, but it's still 0-0. 9 minutes into the second half, and Bruno Lage is seeing his team hang in there at the moment. No more than that, but Chelsea haven't scored. They scored 3 times in added time against Esperance, of course twice in the first half, and one just before the end. And they'll be wary of what happened in the game against Flamengo, where they led for over 50 minutes in that game, and then things fell apart very quickly.
The only thing is that they didn't deserve to be one ahead by half-time and 60 minutes, I think it was. It's only bang, bang. We didn't feel that Chelsea ever really were going to be able to get back into the game. I mean, it would have been tough with Nicolas Jackson on the pitch, off it, practically impossible. But this has been a better performance. And they've dominated the opposition more than they certainly did there. Slightly disappointed with Benfica, what they've done with the ball, but they're hanging on in there at the moment.
And Maresca, for the second time in the second half, gets a full bottle of water and pours it over his head. It's that sort of day.
It is.
Now Kirchu wins it back from Lavia, and there was the potential for a counter-attack there for Benfica. There may still be, because Barreiro and Florentino work hard to win it back from the combined talents of Lavia and Palmer. And now Kirchu on the move now. Benfica just looking to play that one ball forward. Di Maria is on it here. Atakolo was wide on this near side. Dahl was blocked off as he looked to fasten onto a 1-2 down the centre. It's back with Sanchez, the Chelsea goalkeeper, and they are able to clear. And it's smart Cruyff turn from Palmer on the halfway line, but the ball back towards Fernandes was behind him. Dahl will win it back. Fernandes snarling into the challenge, but maybe slightly too much, because he's been penalised for the challenge on the Swede, and it's a free kick for Benfica in the centre, sir.
Yeah, and Cole Palmer did really well by turning the ball, running with it. Arsenes kept with him, so he's just tried to play it inside to Enzo Fernandez, but it's behind him, so then he's chasing all the time, and Dahl just gets the touch and wins the free kick in the end. But still, Benfica aren't able to do actually anything with the ball. It's got to stay disciplined, though, Chelsea, because Enzo Fernandez is giving away fouls, and when a team's under pressure, how do you score? What's the best way to score? Well, obviously some kind of worldie, a mistake, but set pieces as well. What you don't want to do is give away free kicks in dangerous positions. It's not, I wouldn't say this was a particularly dangerous position, but that's 2 fouls he's given away now in a short space of time. Frustrated he's not been able to really get involved in the game, or certainly not in the second half so far, but as I say, got to stay disciplined.
From the second free kick, Benfica come forward with Arsenes down the right. And now Silva slipped in towards Barreiro. Arsenes on the overlap now. The cross in though, almost carried into his own net by Sanchez, but he recovered just in time to cling on right on the goal line. And now Palmer at the other end as Chelsea look to respond. He's got support from Delap. Palmer may go alone, tricks his way into the penalty area. In the end, Silva holds him up, and it's behind for a corner. But Benfica there, almost snatching the lead thanks to a goalkeeping error.
Oh my goodness. I don't know about you, Nige, but I'm thinking, what's he doing? The crosses come in. It's not the best of crosses. He's trying to read to come out. He's gone back and he's fallen on the ground, and you're just sort of thinking, if he fumbled that in any way, that's over the line. It's that close. Of course, then he's got up and picked the ball and just looked as if he's nonchalant and knew exactly what he was doing. I'm not 100% sure.
Corner kick for Chelsea. They do that short move again, and it's all the way out to Caicedo on the left. 58 minutes played on TalkSport 2, 0-0, as the ball is guided across the penalty area by Neto, and behind for a goal kick, and he needed a more subtle execution then.
He's got to do better there, Neto. He's on his left foot, as if somebody who is right-footed let the ball across. Just looking at pictures of Robert Sanchez there, and to be fair, he had soft hands, so he got himself back in his body in the right position, but I bet you Chelsea fans who were panicking for a few seconds.
There are 8 minutes to play in Bratislava, where England still lead Germany 3-2 over on TalkSport in the under-21 final. 0-0 here, just before the hour in North Carolina in the FIFA World Club Cup. As Neto comes forward now for Chelsea, scampering up to the penalty area, but the ball in the end is won by Palmer, but he had to check and then go back to win it, and by the time he got the ball under control, he was under pressure. And now Badiashile caught out 1-1 with Di Maria, fouls him. Di Maria, I think, bought that, used his experience, but it was a free kick, And Benfica are just beginning to creep further downfield.
Well, he's absolutely used his experience there, but O'Shea's got to be careful.
Now Fernandez for Chelsea. Tries to play it further forward to Delap, but just evades his grasp, and it's gathered by Trubin. He must have a winner here tonight. If it's level at the end of 90 minutes, it will be extra time and possibly penalties.
Not I'm looking for Liam Delap to come off, but you want to have that option of Nicholas Jackson to come on at any given time, and that isn't the option here today.
Well, he's still suspended after that ban was lengthened to 2 games. And now Chelsea can see the free kick on the far side, and 1 or 2 moments of frustration beginning to creep into their play, and Slavko Vincic has the yellow card out here. Palmer and Caicedo are both having their say. It was Cucurella who made the initial challenge on Barrero. And it's Caicedo, though, who's been booked by the referee.
I'm not quite sure why, to be honest. You can say Cucurella knew exactly what he was doing in terms of sort of bringing him down. I still think it would have been harsh for him to have the yellow, but understandable.
And that would rule out Caicedo from a quarter-final, should Chelsea go through.
Of course, you're not allowed, if you're a captain, you're not allowed to speak to the refs, aren't you, in this tournament?
Articolo flicks it in field to try and evade Reece James, but there was no Benfica player in the same postcode, so Chelsea have it back, and now Palmer is able to turn and bring it forward down the left-hand side. Lavia, found by Caicedo. Neto, waiting for Reece James on the overlap, but then he goes in field to find Enzo Fernandez. James, poor ball forward from him. It was the right sort of idea to play in Neto down the right, because he had a good run on the Benfica defence, but the execution was horrible.
Yeah, and he was trying to force it. The idea was right, but it just wasn't on. So if that's the case, that's when you just take a touch and you come back out and keep trying to put them under pressure, maybe go around the other side. I understand what he was trying to do, but it just wasn't on.
Inside the final 5 minutes in Bratislava, England still leading 3-2 over on TalkSport, and Benfica, you can see that a free kick here, and Florentino has been shown a yellow card as well for his challenge. He gave the ball away, and it was quickly played forward by Cucurella to Palmer, and Florentino knew he was out of position, so pulled Palmer down, takes the yellow card, and Chelsea have a free kick wide on the left.
What made me laugh was Enzo Fernandez looked at the ref as if like almost, you're given a yellow card just before, that's got to be a yellow card. Those two played together at Benfica when he was there.
And of course, it was a world record transfer fee for about 10 minutes when Enzo Fernandez was signed.
He was only there for half a season, wasn't he? But I was covering Portuguese football at the time, and he was good. He was very, very good.
Signed from River Plate, a team who have been a big disappointment in these championships. Comes out in a flurry of red cards against Inter. You can hear the Chelsea fans looking to get behind their team here. The crowd has risen since kick-off time. James whips in the free kick all the way through. Reece James with the opening goal for Chelsea, catching out Trubin at the near post. An audacious free kick from the Chelsea captain, and it's put them on course for the quarter-finals. Benfica 0, Chelsea 1.
Well, it's not a goal I would have expected to have come in the manner that it did, because Trubin has been sensational in this tournament, not just today, but he was man of the match against Bayern Munich as well. Well, let's give so much credit to Reece James. I mean, it's almost on the touchline. Everyone's expecting a whipped-in cross towards the far post. How good is he at set pieces? And I'm telling you now, there wasn't another inch it could have gone to the right-hand side without it clipping the post. That absolutely was inch perfect, the way he whipped it round the wall, quickly Petruba not able to get back, and after so difficult to break this Benfica side down, this stubborn Benfica side down, did not see the opening goal coming from there. Chelsea deserve it, you have to say. What a strike from Reece James. Not the goal I was expecting.
Only his third goal of the season. Of course, he had so many hamstring problems throughout the campaign. But Chelsea on the verge of extending their season into an 11th month with a quarter-final on Independence Day weekend next Saturday. And Benfica need to respond here. They were sat in, I think, almost waiting for something to happen, and now they've got to make it happen.
Yeah, they've almost been like that the whole game. You know, I'm not saying they've been playing for penalties, that's not the case at all, but been very much on the back foot, not able to get hold of the ball, not able to keep any passes, not able to trouble Robert Sanchez and create chances. Well, now they have to, and that might actually favour Chelsea in that way, where if Benfica start going for it a bit more, but yeah, at this moment in time, I don't think many people can argue that Chelsea have been the better side and deserve to be one up.
Well, Benfica have a free kick here. It was Badia Shields' challenge midway inside the Chelsea half. It's flighted in by Di Maria to the far post. Otamendi had the chance there to guide it into the 6-yard area, but gets it all wrong, and it's launched over the top for a goal kick. And Chelsea will enjoy seeing that free kick from Reece James again and again.
Do you know what? Chelsea are just such a better side when Reece James is 100% fit. I know people have given Enzo Maresca criticism for playing in midfield, and I actually thought the Flamengo game, Chelsea didn't have the control that they do with a Lavia in there, or even an Enzo Fernandez, even though he looks to try and get forward a lot more. But when he's right back, when he's playing and he's fit, 100% fit, I also don't think he's a better right back in world football. He can't quite do with the ball what Trent does, but he's a much better defender as well. So in terms of being an all-rounder, he's just a brilliant player.
Now Enzo Fernandez wins it back from Otamendi, breaks towards the edge of the penalty area, and he's still going until Kirchu comes in and makes the challenge. Enzo Fernandez goes down, but there was no prospect of a penalty. They're into added time. There'll be 2 more minutes in the under-21 final as Germany strike the crossbar late in the day. 3-2 England lead. Germany hit the bar in the closing moments of normal time. That would have won it for them, and they've just hit the bar again in the closing seconds of extra time, looking to force a penalty shooter. Oh, here's an opportunity now for Pavlidis, who's in behind Badia Shield. He had hold of him there inside the penalty area. Pavlidis goes down. Now, if the officials off the field deem that to have not been a foul initially, Chelsea will be okay. If not, they're in real trouble.
Well, I'm telling you now, VAR will definitely have a look at it. And we've seen some decisions that for me have not been clear and obvious errors, but have been turned around. But yeah, Pavlidis got in behind Badia Shield there. He definitely tried to grab hold of him, but Pavlidis just carried on. Could have gone down then, I think it would have been a penalty.
Well, Badia Shield's down anyway. He's got an injury, and there are going to be changes made by Benfica. And I think Slavko Vincic, the referee, waved away and said there wouldn't be a further look, or maybe there's already been a look from Marco De Bello, the referee, who was in charge of VAR. At the midpoint of the second half, Benfica 0, Chelsea 1. Chelsea on their way to meeting Palmeiras in the quarter-finals. And we're just watching this Badia Shield incident again with Pavlidis. Pavlidis crumpled to the turf inside the area. Well, there was a hand on him there, but I'm not sure it was contact which was that necessary, but I think Badia Shield's done anyway. He's just coming off.
No, he is. I mean, it was a great ball in behind from Di Maria, and the ball bounced up. Pavlidis got there first, and suddenly he's grappling for him. He was actually just outside the box where he tried to reach for him. Once he got in the box and then do a Cruyff turn to come that way, Badia Shield, he actually had 2 hands on him, but it wasn't enough sort of a push to suggest that was a penalty, and I think it was the right decision in the end.
Badiashile is coming off, and Toshin Adebayo is coming on. And England have done it, back to back, under 21 titles. They've beaten Germany 3-2, and you can enjoy the trophy lift and the aftermath over on TalkSport.
NFL Game Pass.
And at the moment, the changes are being made by Benfica, and they're chasing this game. And Pavlidis has gone off, and Andrea Belotti has come on, and Florentino has also gone off, and Gianluca Prestanini has come on as well.
Yeah, not surprised the substitutions being made for Benfica. Bruno Lage realising this game just slipping away at the moment. Chelsea been in control pretty much from start to where we are now on 70 minutes. It's got to do something different.
Chelsea looking for the second goal, because if they get another one here, then it's all over, you feel. But the cross into the penalty area from the left-hand side is now gathered by Neto, who comes in field from the right, and it's a good ball wide towards the left. Here is Palmer with a low shot, but he dragged it across the face of goal, and it's going to be a goal kick.
Yeah, 20 minutes plus injury time to go. What have Benfica got? They haven't shown much so far, but now they're trying to get on the attack.
And here's an opportunity for Kirchu. Plays it wide, and then there's a slip inside the penalty area, and it was Castellani who tried to make his way into the box, but in the end he just slipped at the crucial moment, and the whistle goes. But the games have come a bit looser, Scott, which won't really suit Chelsea, and I think both sets of players are coming over for a cooling break, which is maybe a good time for the Blues.
Yeah, I think just, since the substitutions happened only a few minutes ago, Benfica have sort of tried to push on, and it has been a bit more open, a bit more end-to-end. And no, that's not what Chelsea wants. It's not what Enzo Maresca wants. He wants to keep that control and look as if Chelsea are very difficult to break down. But Benfica have to go for it now. 20 minutes, not easy. They've been chasing shadows almost all the game. And that's where I said the substitutions will be very, very important. Coming on, being fresh, making a difference. And just in the last minute or so, it looks as if they are doing that. They probably don't want the break at this particular time. And if anything, it's probably Chelsea who do want it. So Enzo Maresca can actually tell his team, look, these players have come on, they're going to be doing this, we need to be careful here. But at the moment in time, Benfica's still not able to get a really good chance to trouble Robert Sanchez.
And it was almost going to be a goal out of the ordinary or a goal out of nothing, and that's what we've had.
Yeah, do you know what? I think you're absolutely right, and it's what I was saying about it. It wasn't the goal that I expected. I mean, not many people do expect a goal like that, and Anthony Trubin certainly didn't himself, and he is a very, very good goalkeeper. But then that's where you need your class players to step up and do something different. We saw it with Cole Palmer in the Europa Conference League final. 1-0 down, Betis playing really well. Who's going to step up in your really one difficult game in this competition? Well, boy, Cole Palmer did that. And now it's 0-0, heading towards extra time and possibly even penalties. What can you do? I mentioned about set pieces. Well, that was a wonderful set piece. One, to see it coming, and then two, to have the execution to go round the wall and not give Trubin any chance at all. I mean, if it would have been a couple of inches to the right, it would have hit the post. A couple of inches to the left, Trubin would have made it. It was absolutely inch perfect from Reece James.
Well, Bruno Lage responding with those changes. The experienced former Italian international Andrea Belotti, who was on loan from Como, has come on, along with the teenage Argentinian from Bella Sarsfield, Gianluca Prestiani. And it's a throw in which Alvarez will take now, level with the edge of the Chelsea penalty area, with 17 minutes to play plus added time. Benfica 0, Chelsea 1, Chelsea heading for the quarter-finals, and now Benfica have given the ball away, and here is Enzo Fernandez coming forward up towards the edge of the penalty area, looks to find Delap, but it's cut out by Otamendi, and here is Atakolu coming forward now for Benfica. He's got Belotti ahead of him, wide on this near side the left. Belotti, who is a squat, stocky figure with a low centre of gravity, holds off the challenge of Adebayo, and now Dahl with a good ball to find Prestiani. His ball further wide to Asnes was cut out, and Chelsea will clear, and now Palmer can bring it forward again down the left hand side. The lap in the centre, and we can see players looking very, very weary at this stage now.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, the game has really sort of opened up, and it's down to Chelsea now to keep the ball. You know, they're the ones who have had most of the possession. They're the ones who have been moving Benfica around, and I said just keep on doing what you're doing in the second half, because they will start to tire. Obviously they've made substitutions, but still very much on top.
Neto coming in field now from the right hand side. Fernandes creates the angle for the reverse ball, but it's wide to the left, and Cucurella. Palmer coming forward on his outside, and then Cucurella picks up the one red shirt in the vicinity, Orkan Kirchi.
There were 3 Chelsea players around, and he passes it to a Benfica shirt.
Now Di Maria on the far side, further forward to Prestiani, but he loses out, hasn't quite got to the pace of the game yet. Silva though nods the ball away, only into the path of Colwell charging forward into the penalty area. He though has given the ball away, and it's becoming rather stretched, which doesn't really suit Chelsea with 15 minutes to play. Apicolu coming forward now, but he's challenged by James, and it will be a throw-in for Benfica, taken quickly by Belotti. Apicolu in towards Di Maria, and the clock is ticking for him as a player in Europe as well, and a player with Benfica, where it all started for him and where it's about to finish unless they pick a goal up. He's going back to Argentina to play for Rosario next season as Dahl clips a high ball wide to the far side, taken down well by Asnes. Now Prestiani on the overlap, drills in the cross towards Belotti, who controlled at the near post, but he was offside, and it's a free kick for Chelsea with 14 minutes to play.
Slightly worrying signs though that Benfica are able, the game has opened up, which again, this is something that Maresca doesn't want. He wants to try and make it as compact as possible. Also too, Prestiani is able to get down the wing, whip the ball in, and Belotti, it's kind of it's a little bit behind him. He's put his arm there and it's come off his arm, but you know, they'll certainly be thinking, well, maybe if we can do that again, we can create another chance. It's down to Chelsea just to keep the ball. Sounds boring, just 10 passes, get them running around, get them even more tired. And Chelsea have been the better side in this game, but it's only 1-0.
And you're listening to the FIFA Club World Cup live on TalkSport 2, presented by DAZN. Sign up now at DAZN.com to watch every game live and for free. And Chelsea have been penalised again, way inside the Benfica half, and it will be a free kick to the general bemusement of Enzo Fernandez and Enzo Maresca. And Benfica really have to force it here. Di Maria clips it wide to the far side. Asnes gathers at pace away from Cucurella, pulls it back into the penalty area, and Prestiani had a glorious chance to equalise, but he puts it well wide. He thumps at the ground in frustration. Chelsea really opened up, but the Argentinian teenager couldn't capitalise.
Well, again, down the right-hand side, great play from Arsenis, just playing the ball around Marc Cucurella, cutting the ball back. And Prestiani, it's one of those where it's coming across him, and what he needs to do really is let it come across onto his left foot and then have a strike. But if you're not left-footed, it's a very difficult thing to do. By the time he's taken the first touch and what ended up being the shot, it's almost come off his heel. Again, not giving Sanchez, the ability to make a save there, but just a couple of times now in the last few minutes, Benfica have got him down the right-hand side. Sanchez gathering once again on the edge of the 6-yard area, and Chelsea need to start managing the game here. 25,929. They've given the ball away on the edge of their own penalty area. Di Maria now clips it high to the far post, looking for Belotti, but it's claimed by Sanchez. And Chelsea there messing about in an area where they had no business in doing so. Well, I don't know what Di Maria was doing there. Looked like he tried to dink it to the far post, went straight to Sanchez.
But here is Delap coming forward now. No offside flag, and Delap sends Chelsea into the quarter-finals of the Club World Cup. Or at least he thinks he does, but the flag has gone up.
Well, I'll tell you why, it was a great finish. What you do is you stick the ball in the back of the net and have a look to see where the flag goes up. Flag didn't come up straight away. And he certainly thought, as he played that into the net, that was it, and 2-0 would be it. No, not yet. It was offside.
Malo Gusto and Kieran Dewsbury Hall are the players who are coming on for Chelsea. In fact, there'll be a triple change. Christopher Nkunku is coming on as well. Delap, James and Fernandes are the three players who are going off for Chelsea. So they're taking off, and James and Fernandes certainly two of their more effective performances today.
Yeah, again, I think with James it's about trying to make sure he's okay and not get injured. 10 minutes to go. I think if this was the final in the Club World Cup, he wouldn't be doing it, but yeah, Gusto and Nkunku and Dewsbury Hall, I don't think exactly it's like for like in terms of quality, but just trying to manage things. And look, you've said it, I've said it, it's far too open in the last sort of 5-10 minutes really, and it's something that Benfica would want because they haven't had control in any way, so you know, a bit of chaos is exactly what they need. At one point there didn't seem to be any midfield there, it was just back and forth a couple of those, but Menzo Maresca, I'm not surprised he's made some substitutions. Have to wait and see whether they can get in the game and reach back that control.
I can tell you in the US with Dewsbury Hall coming on for Chelsea, it's laid back by Belotti on the far side. Di Maria having more of an impact on the game now. His crossfield ball finding Kirchu. And now Dahl on this near side, back towards Kirchu again. Dewsbury Hall trying to win it back from him, and now it's tipped over the top by Di Maria, looking for Atakolo. And in the aerial duel, he catches Cucurella, and it will be a free kick for Chelsea, but they're giving Di Maria far too much room here. At the age of 37, he's running the game at the moment.
Well, I wonder whether he'd last the whole 90 minutes, and I suppose he's thinking if he's going to be last game, do not take me off. He's still got the energy, he's definitely got the class, you're not going to lose that, so Chelsea still need to be careful.
Just under 26,000 here today, which is fewer than there were for the Benfica Bayern Munich game in the group. Dewsbury Hall though coming forward for Chelsea, infield towards the edge of the penalty area. And it's cleared away initially, but Chelsea now try and win it back, and then Neto has been bowled over on this near side by Kirchu, and there's an apology of sorts from him, and it will be a free kick, but it won't spare Kirchu a yellow card.
It had to be a yellow card. And first of all, it was a really tired flick where he's lost the ball, and then as he's run across to Pedro Neto, he's done a little turn. He realises he's not going to catch him. He's one of them, and certainly does look tired. A very tired challenge and a definite yellow card.
And if Benfica dig themselves out of this hole, Orkan Kirchu is another player who would be unavailable for a quarter-final against Palmeiras, who beat Botafogo, one of Bruno Lage's former clubs, earlier today. And that game went to extra time, and the quarter-final will be played 2 a.m. on July the 5th, which is late Friday night, Saturday morning in Philadelphia. Chelsea heading back there. They've based themselves in Miami in the build-up to this game. Cole Palmer over the free kick. Chelsea players go down inside the area, but Belotti was fouled by Colwill, and it will be a free kick for Benfica. I'm just seeing on monitor the semi-automated offside, showing that Liam Delap was clearly offside in the build-up to the goal, not quite timing his run right.
No, I think that's exactly right. You know, you can look along the line, because the defender who would have been keeping him onside, he could have seen, he could see him, he was in his vision, he was in his line. So if he had just timed his run just a little bit better, either just held his run or bent his run a bit more, and he would have stayed onside. But it was a very cool finish.
Thiago Gouveia Right-sided player will be coming on shortly for Benfica. It's Di Maria. It's another good ball wide towards Arsenes. Down the right-hand side. He comes in field this time. Otamendi will lead the charge from the back, wide towards Dahl, who's goal side of Neto, and he breaks towards the edge of the penalty area. Gusto comes in with the challenge. It was full-blooded, let's say, and it's a good job he won the ball, otherwise it would have been very close to a penalty. And now there's another rash challenge in the midfield area. Slavko Vincic just telling players to calm down.
Well, Bruno Lage wants his Benfica side to keep this high tempo up as much as possible. As I say, they realise they're 1-0 down. They're just minutes away from getting knocked out of this competition. There's a little bit of ill discipline. And Chelsea just need to keep passing the ball. As tired as they are, Benfica players must be even more tired. Chasing almost from minute one.
Well, Osnes is coming off. Kirchhoff has also gone off as well. And Joao Velosa, a young midfielder, will be coming on. 20 years of age. And Gouveia, who came through the academy at Sporting Lisbon before making the move across the city to the Estadio de Luz. He's also come on as well. And there is a little over 4.5 minutes left here for Benfica. And the floodlights have come on. The skies have darkened. There has been a warning about potential thunderstorms here. And at this stage, let's hope this game gets completed in 90 minutes and Chelsea get the game and the job done. Now, I wonder if the referee is taking the players off here for a weather warning. That's what he's doing. Both sets of players are heading off with 4 minutes to play. The supporters are being encouraged to head onto the concourses under the stand, and with Chelsea leading by a 0-0 in the closing stages of this round of 16 game, we have a weather delay. The skies have darkened. There is the threat of electrical storms. The crowd are leaving in their droves. Now the game stopped at 10:51, and now 1 hour and 56 minutes later we are about to resume with a Chelsea free kick. Chelsea have made a change as well. Trevor Chalobah has come onto the field of play, replacing Romeo Lavia, and the long free kick is played forward. Credit to a number of fans who have stayed here. There weren't a huge number in the stadium in the first place, around 26,000 in a stadium that holds 75,000, but I would think maybe 5,000 or 6,000 people, maybe more, have stayed, and credit to them. Chelsea try and see this game out.
I wouldn't have done. But I will just mention, I think it's clever from Enzo Maresca and the medical staff as well, taking off Romeo Lavia to wait almost 2 hours to go back for 4 minutes plus injury time. We know he's got his injury problems. Reece James has already been taken off before the break, so it's absolutely wise to do that. And Trevor Chalobah can do a very good job, even if whether it's an extra man of defence or actually playing into midfield, where it looks like Gusto is sort of chasing around in midfield.
Well, there's been a change as well for Benfica. Just try and get confirmation of that. And FIFA have said they appreciate the patience and understanding of both teams and fans. We prioritise the safety of everyone involved.
Shambles.
Well, we have 3 minutes of normal time to play here. Benfica 0, Chelsea 1. A delay of a few moments short of 2 hours here. And Benfica are looking to force extra time. I shouldn't laugh. They've got a free kick here after Kolu has been fouled, and Bruno Lage is sending everyone forward. He wants extra time.
Why not? Absolutely. You know, some people have been saying, oh, why didn't they just call it off? And no, if I'm a Benfica player, no, I've got a chance of staying on in this tournament. Give me an extra 4 minutes plus injury time, and let's see if we can get it to extra time.
Atakolu and Di Maria are over this free kick. Di Maria's delivery into the penalty area, headed away by Colwell, nodded back in by Otamendi. Then Toshin is there to nod the ball further away. Gusto will chase the ball out, and the flag is up for offside, and Chelsea have a free kick, and we are into the 89th minute. That change for Chelsea, Chalobah coming on for Lavia, happened in the 118th minute of added time, according to FIFA. They keep the clock running. Anyway,
What was that line on Veloso?
Veloso came on an hour and a half ago and hasn't had a kick. You know, what is the point? Anyway,
You got to laugh.
we're heading towards the 90th minute here. Benfica looking to force the equaliser, but Dewsbury Hall gathers, and now Lavia will play it all the way back towards Sanchez. If you've just joined us on TalkSport 2, this game should have finished 2 hours ago, and we're still here following a weather delay. Of course, in American sport, weather delays are commonplace. You have baseball games that are halted for hours on end when they wait for the rain to pass. But in football, it's not a usual experience, but it's happened here today as Veloso does get a kick here. He plays it wide to the far side, the cross into the penalty area, took a deflection, and it goes through towards Sanchez, and we have 30 seconds of normal time to play here.
I tell you what, as that ball was deflected in behind the Chelsea defence, I just wonder whether Belotti could have run onto that. I think it would have been difficult for him. It went straight to Sanchez, but just takes that little bit of deflection. It's something you're not expecting. Players still not fully warmed up. None of them are out there. Can Benfica take advantage of that?
Well, we'll be in added time soon, and we'll find out how much added time there will be at the end of this game. With Chelsea leading by a goal to nil, heading through to the quarter-finals, there'll be a minimum of 6 more minutes. So the players have waited 2 hours to play 10 minutes.
A minimum of an hour and 50 minutes injury time. No, I mean, I don't want to go down to conspiracy theories, but I'm not sure there were 6 minutes there. It's almost like, let's justify them spending this long.
Well, Di Maria's been fouled here by Cole Palmer. It's about 30 yards out, right of centre, and it's a free kick for Benfica. And they are still pressing here for the equalising goal.
He does that, Moises Caicedo, doesn't he? He's such a good player, but sometimes he doesn't quite understand where the line is. Can get yellow cards, can give away silly fouls, and but you're in injury time now after what's happened as well. Just stand up, stay on your feet. It's a 37-year-old running across the pitch.
Free kick played high to the far post. Otamendi heads it across, appeals for handball inside the penalty area, and they're absolutely fuming, Benfica. A yellow card, though, has been shown for dissent. Bruno Lage is expectant, and Marco De Bello, the VAR official, will take a look at this, I'm sure, because the Benfica bench and their players are absolutely convinced the ball struck an arm.
Well, as the ball's whipped in, it's a header back.
Oh, it did. It was Malo Gusto. I don't think he saw it, but his arm was outstretched. Did it brush his fingers? It was headed towards goal, and if it clicked him on the hand, that is a penalty.
But he's not even looking. And okay, his arm is out, but he's not even looking at it. He's got his almost back to it because it's gone over the top of him. It's been headed back.
The ref's going to have a look here.
Wow.
Marco De Bello has sent Slavko Vincic over to the screen to look at this. In the 3rd minute of added time, after a delay of nearly 2 hours, we're waiting to see here if Benfica will have a penalty. It was headed down by Otamendi. It struck the hand of Malo Gusto. The referee is continuing to look at this. He's seen enough. He is walking across. Penalty! It's a penalty penalty for Benfica, and they've got the chance to send this game into extra time. Malo Gusto, the player who has been penalised for handball, and Angel Di Maria, in what could be his final game for Benfica, will take the penalty to prolong his career with his boyhood club.
Incredible, isn't it? Incredible. And all this time we've been waiting around, we've been saying, you know, it just takes one moment for Benfica, and who knows, they could get into extra time. Didn't look like it was going to happen before the break. And just something as innocuous as that. Look, his arm was out. There's no doubt about it.
That is always going to be given as a penalty these days, particularly in circumstances like this.
For me,
I know what the law says, but we know how the environment around us.
I'm looking at the law, and travels some distance, and his arm is raised above the shoulder, but it's a deflection that doesn't really make any difference in terms of the direction of the ball. It's pure subjective.
Well, Marco De Bello and Slavko Vincic have looked at that, and the penalty is being given, and Angel Di Maria, who has already scored 3 penalties in this Club World Cup, will take this. If he scores, his Benfica career will be prolonged. If he misses, it ends here and now. What drama. Di Maria up against Robert Sanchez. He steps up and he's scored! Angel Di Maria has equalised in the 5th minute of added time after a 2-hour weather delay. It is Benfica 1, Chelsea 1. Will this game ever end?
That's a very good question. My goodness me, and you're right, what drama. Angel Di Maria, I mean, what a player. Stepping up with all the pressure that's on in there, knowing that actually it might even be his last kick in European football or playing for a European club. And yet he steps up, and how cool is he? He's looking up all the time, looking at Robert Sanchez, waiting to see for him to go down. And he actually just passes it down the middle because he makes sure that Robert Sanchez dives to his left. He's out the way. It's not even a little dink, it's just across the floor. And I bet Malo Gusto and the rest of the Chelsea players, Chelsea staff, Chelsea fans cannot believe what they've just seen.
Well, 1-1, deep into 6 minutes of added time. A yellow card has now been shown against Prestiani. He came on about 3 hours ago. And Benfica here may well have forced extra time. Let's hope the clouds stay away and we get this game done, even with another 30 minutes. Now Cucurella back towards Caicedo. Malo Gusto, who came on to try and see this game out, but he's given away a penalty which has given Benfica a lifeline. Neto now with the cross into the penalty area. Cucurella's in space at the far post, pulled back towards Dewsbury Hall, and then Caicedo with a shot, and he spoons it high and wide.
Well, that's why he very rarely scores. The ball was laid back to him a little bit quickly, but you could have put 3 goals to the left and it still wouldn't have gone in there. But this is just unbelievable what you're witnessing. Cannot believe it. You wait all this time. Shouldn't have done. There's been no rain at all around here. Neither sets of teams would have wanted this. And yet you start again. Malo Gusto, he's gone for the head of the ball. Look, his arm is up, there's no doubt about it, but his back is to the Benfica player heading the ball. He's brushed his hand. As you said, Nige, the moment he's brushed his hand,
he was going to give a penalty.
They're going to turn it around. And look, once he gets called over, then the referee's now not thinking clearly, in my opinion. There's not many that do. I'm thinking there's 3 or 4 people that disagree with my decision.
Well, here's Atakolu. We're into 8 minutes of added time. Benfica looking to finish it here. The shot is blocked inside the area, and Benfica nearly did win it. And now they're on the attack again here with Barreiro. Atakolu, Di Maria outside him. Atakolu looks to hit the byline. Now the clever back heel to find Di Maria. He breaks into the penalty area, chops back, thinks about a Rabona, comes back onto the left foot again. Malagusto with the challenge, and in the end, Di Maria slips and is behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, Bruno Lage is absolutely livid. He's saying, just get the ball in there. Forget about the skill. You scored the penalty. Just get in there and get the winner. What a smash and grab that would be.
We're into the 99th minute. It's 1 o'clock in the morning and we're still playing. Caicedo. Now wide to Chalobah. Chelsea look absolutely stunned here. They cannot believe it.
Yeah. They still look as if they haven't warmed up properly, don't they?
Well, they're going to get time to have another break in a minute. I wonder if we'll stop for a cooling break soon as well. Cucurella, infield to Dewsbury Hall. Now Caicedo. Wide towards Cucurella again. Antonio Silva will get there first. Hammers the ball out of play into the fans who've stuck with it. And now it's back to Caicedo. He fires a shot into the crowd. It comes out to Malagusto looking for Dewsbury Hall, and that is it. It is the end of 90 minutes. A game which kicked off 4 hours ago, and still we will play on. Angel Di Maria, after a 2-hour weather delay, scoring a penalty 5 minutes into added time. It is finished Benfica 1, Chelsea 1. And we have extra time coming up next on TalkSport 2. And welcome back. Nigel Adderley and Scott Minto with you. Extra time in the Club World Cup round of 16. Benfica 1, Chelsea 1 in Charlotte. If you've just joined us, this game was delayed for nearly 2 hours. It was stopped in the 86th minute with Chelsea leading by a goal to nil. Reece James scoring a free kick midway through the second half. During the time that was left after the weather delay, Malagusto was penalised for handball. Angel Di Maria prolonged his Benfica career by scoring a penalty, and as a result, we now have extra time. This match kicked off 4 hours ago, and we still have no idea who will be playing Palmeiras next weekend in the quarter-finals. Dewsbury Hall now for Chelsea, drives a ball in, and it's deflected away deep inside the 6-yard area by Otamendi. And now a yellow card has been shown to Bresciani, and he's off. It's a second yellow card for Gianluca Bresciani, and now a yellow card's also been shown to Cole Palmer as well. And Bresciani, who came late in the 90 minutes, has been quickly dismissed. 2 yellow cards, one right at the end of 90 minutes, the other right at the start of extra time. And in this game, which has stretched credibility for so many reasons, Benfica are now down to 10 men.
Well, I mean, Cole Palmer doesn't need to get involved there, and he's got a yellow card because of it. Bresciani, what are you doing? Your team just got back into it. And at the very start of extra time, you've put your team under pressure. And Dewsbury Hall got into the box. The ball was deflected back. And that's a good defending from Otamendi. And he's dived in on Levi Colwell. It's a heavy touch. And because the studs are showing, it's a yellow card, and therefore he's off. You just don't make that type of challenge when you're on a yellow card.
Well, Bresciani is heading to the dressing room. He can get back on the exercise bike now. And it's a free kick for Chelsea. 2.5 minutes into the first period of extra time. And Chelsea now have the opportunity to put Benfica away, which they should have really done either side of the weather break, but they gave away a penalty. Neto and Palmer are over the free kick here. Flighted in by Neto, high to the far post, it's nodded down. Colwell fouling Barreiro inside the 6-yard area, and it will be a free kick for Benfica. And I'm sure already now they have their eyes firmly fixed on a potential penalty shootout.
Yeah, I mean, again, you said it, what drama. They're waiting almost 2 hours and then suddenly they get a penalty, they equalise, the start of the extra time. Is it going to be calm and relaxed and chilled? No. He's sending off already. And look, before, if we can remember, all that time ago, when before the break, Chelsea were pretty much in total control. They could have played for another 90 minutes and they weren't going to concede, but that's what happens in these type of situations. A really innocuous handball. Augusto wasn't even facing players, just he'd gone up and jumped up in the air, and that's why his arm was raised above his shoulders, flicked his hand. And the referee didn't give it initially. The VAR told him to go over. Amazing stuff, really.
Well, Dewsbury Hall has it now for Chelsea. 4 minutes into the first period of extra time here on TalkSport 2. Benfica 1, Chelsea 1. Now it's played down the line. If you've just joined us, this is not one of the very late kickoffs in the Club World Cup. But we have had another weather delay. And there are problems for Bayern Munich trying to get to Miami for their game tomorrow. And Chelsea may have problems trying to get home at the end of this game, or certainly back to Miami, should they make progress. Di Maria made a break down the middle there, but he was halted. And Neto will bring it forward again. And here is Palmer. In towards Neto, and then Palmer tries to break into the penalty area. But Benfica will hammer the ball downfield again. Enzo Maresca maybe pondering another change. Of course, he brought on a number of players to try and see this game out, and in the end it didn't quite work for them, but really difficult circumstances for both coaches and both sets of players. If the break had happened earlier in the game, then maybe it was more understandable.
Yeah.
But to happen so close to the end of a game, and I know FIFA will prioritise safety and they have their reasons for that, but
it was the wrong decision, it was the wrong protocol. Nigel, we've seen that in 2 hours, nothing's happened weather-wise, nothing.
And now an opportunity for Belotti to break for Benfica down the centre. He's got Atokolu in support, but he fires the shot straight at Sanchez, and it was an opportunity for the Turk to put Benfica ahead.
Absolutely, a great opportunity. And you got 10 men and you get into the box where you couldn't even try to create chances or get chances before the break with 11. And he's hit the target. That's about the best thing I can say. Straight at Robert Sanchez. Chelsea needs to grab hold of this game now. They've got the extra man. They've got to start doing what they were doing before the break.
Cucurella infield to Malo Gusto, who curls it right-footed, but it's right down the throat of Anatoly Trubin.
It was really worked as well, Malo Gusto in midfield, and nothing to do with the handball. It's just interesting. Chalobah's right back, and it's Gusto is moving to midfield. Almost do the opposite. Swap that around.
A long ball played forward by Trubin, guided back by Levi Colwill to Robert Sanchez. And Chelsea will try and build again here with Caicedo. If you've just joined us, we are still playing because of a 2-hour weather delay right at the end of this game when Chelsea were leading. Now it's 1-1 and it's extra time as Neto fires in a cross which maybe took a deflection from wide on the right hand side, and it's gathered by Trubin at the near post. Earlier on today, England's under-21 side won their European Championship in a dramatic game against Germany that also went to extra time. England 2 up, Germany came back to 2-2, almost won it right at the end of normal time, and then Jonathan Rowe came on to score the winner for England in extra time. Now Caicedo with a high ball into the penalty area, nodded down to Nkunku. Cole Palmer as well to find Gusto outside the area. Neto with the cross in. Dewsbury Hall was the target, but it was claimed by Trubin.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you say, look, get the ball in the box, but that wasn't on. Dewsbury Hall was the only one who was in there, and it wasn't even a great cross. Chelsea shocked by what's happened, you can tell. They've got to try and calm themselves down, think clearly, but play with high intensity again. They've got the extra man, leave Benfica around. Benfica want penalties right now for sure.
Nkunku has it for Chelsea. Back in field again to Caicedo. And now Colwell. Tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock we have Paris Saint-Germain against Inter Miami. And then Scott and I will be back around this time on Tuesday morning for Manchester City against Al Hilal. And then Tuesday night, well, here's an opportunity for Di Maria. He's been released by a ball down the right-hand side. He can break into the penalty area here, slipped in field, and he almost found Belotti, but it was a crucial intervention from Chalobah.
Tell you what, he's nutmeg toasted with the pass, and Trevor Chalobah's just about read it. Brilliant defending. And if he hadn't have got that, Belotti would have been in, 6 yards out, straight in front of Robert Sanchez.
8 o'clock Tuesday night, rounding off the round of 16, it is Real Madrid against Juventus. Now Nkunku. That game is also live on TalkSport 2. The Manchester City game will be on TalkSport. As Palmer brings it forward now for Chelsea. Nearly 100 minutes played. 1-1 the scoreline, but the best opportunities since the red card for Benfica have come for the team with 10 men.
Absolutely. A couple of chances they've had, haven't they, to maybe get one shot, one almost assist that went past Chelsea's defenders. Sitting back and making themselves difficult to beat.
And the cross is swung in by Palmer, and it bounces all the way through the penalty area and behind for a goal kick. You're listening to the FIFA Club World Cup live on TalkSport 2, presented by DAZN. Watch every game of the FIFA Club World Cup live and for free on DAZN. Sign up at dazn.com. 5 minutes to play in the first period of extra time. During the added time, Benfica have had a player sent off, Gianluca Cristiani. Of course, Angel Di Maria equalising with the penalty 5 minutes into added time. And what could be his final appearance for Benfica. It will be unless they win. Well, Belotti has now been fouled by Colwell, who's wearing the armband for Chelsea. And it's a yellow card as well, which has been shown. Maybe for what Colwell said rather than the challenge.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't for the challenge. He went over and he wasn't happy at all. Belotti very clever, got a bit of physical contact, went down. Colwell absolutely livid, and he's obviously livid just with the whole situation. Shambles of 2 hours not playing, the penalty being given, suddenly they're in extra time. And you know what, Nigel, I know you were going to ask me if we got to 90 minutes who the man of the match was. I think Levi Colwell has been superb. I think he's defended really well. He's got tight when he's needed to. He's tucked round, obviously playing with Badia Shields, who is the right side of the back four where normally he isn't. It's unfortunate there.
Chelsea coming forward now with Malagusto, but he's lost out, and Benfica win it back, and they're just playing for counter-attacks now. Covella, challenged by Cucurella. Covella has done well to hold on to possession. Antonio Silva. And now Veloso tries to work it through down the line, but in the end Chelsea player Cucurella has gone down. And of course there were misgivings about this Club World Cup. Maybe it's the English arrogance or the Premier League arrogance, and what's happened here tonight won't silence those.
No, look, I mean, I've enjoyed the tournament that I've worked on it, and I've enjoyed watching them, talking about it, but from a player's point of view, from the Premier League point of view as well, it does get in the way, but it's a FIFA competition. Try and win it.
Cucurella with a cross in, and Barredo sends it high over his own crossbar, and it will be a corner for Chelsea with 2 minutes to play in the first period of extra time here on TalkSport 2. 1-1 the score. The crowd was given as 26,000 before the weather delay. Maybe 10,000 inside the stadium now, and scattered around this huge arena.
It's in a good season now.
Absolutely. Palmer, the low ball in for Cucurella. It's ball back for Palmer, beaten away by Truban. Palmer again inside the penalty area. Can't get the ball out from under his feet. And now a break for Benfica, and it's Di Maria leading the charge over the halfway line. Belotti waits inside the penalty area, unmarked at the moment. Di Maria comes inside and curls it, and it's a comfortable save for Sanchez in the end.
Tell you what, it's get back to being a tennis match again, isn't it? Cole Palmer having a wonderful opportunity. Great cutback from Marc Cucurella, and on his right foot, Palmer makes Truban make the save, and suddenly great counter-attack from Benfica, suddenly turning it into a 3v2. Moises Caicedo sprinting to get back. Doing so well to do that. But Angel Di Maria up against Malo Gusto, and I was wondering if he would really try to take him on. He kind of came inside and had the shot, but it was a simple save in the end. But the team's trying to go for it. I understand from Chelsea's point of view, but Benfica feel like if they can counter, they'll try and do it.
Now Dewsbury Hall. Wide to Cucurella. Fired back to Nkunku. Colwell, Gusto, and now Cucurella again for Chelsea down the left. Nkunku. We're into a single minute of added time at the end of the first period here. 1-1 the score. And in the end, Badiashile has to go all the way back to Sanchez, who has been the busier goalkeeper since Benfica were reduced to 10 men. It's often the way. But Di Maria really comes alive on the counter-attack here. Of course, we'll look at things maybe from a Chelsea-centric point of view, but what nerve he showed to dispatch that penalty, to keep his career going with a club he loves so much.
Every bit of experience of his career there, wasn't it?
Malo Gusto is offside.
And when you think about it, I mean, that could have been his last kick of the game for Benfica and for, playing in European football. And it was, what was it? It was a little pass down the middle on the floor. If Robert Sanchez had read that, he'd always be thinking that was my last touch there for Benfica. But brilliant. It was a really good penalty. Waiting for him to move out the way, and I'll put it in the net.
Half-time in extra time, and it is still Benfica 1, Chelsea 1. The most significant moment in the first period, the yellow card for Gianluca Prestiani, which turned into a red following his first booking late in the 90 minutes. But it's Angel Di Maria who has been inspiring Benfica on the counter-attack since. Cole Palmer with Chelsea's best opportunity, but Anatoly Trubin was able to beat that out. And we are 15 minutes away now from a penalty shootout to decide who Palmeiras will play in the quarter-final, which will be another early morning kick-off, 2 a.m. Friday into Saturday next week.
It's been a good extra time now, hasn't it?
Yes.
Seen chances from both ends, both sides. Benfica,
both teams have had a rest.
That's true. But I mean, with Benfica, going down to 10 men, it could easily have just sort of thought, you know what, we're going to defend deep, we're not going to try and push on at all, and just play for penalties. But they haven't. They've created chances on the counter-attack. They look dangerous, more dangerous than they had before the break, and with 11 men.
Well, the game is so disjointed now. Maybe one or two brains are a bit scrambled as well by what's happened, and it's making for more entertaining football, certainly, but
just looking at Enzo Maresca there, he looks fuming, flummoxed, just can't believe what's happened. And you know what, it's not his fault if Chelsea go out today. It's not his fault.
no, No.
How can you justify what's happened there? And then obviously, I mean, he's brought on Malagusto. You can't blame him for that. It was just
we don't know what would have happened, but the way the game was going at 86 minutes, Benfica did not look like scoring.
No, Chelsea were in control. It's something which, look, there are a lot of Chelsea fans out there who are still not won by Enzo Maresca, and I think he's done really well finishing fourth and winning the Europa Conference League, which I do think they should have won that particular competition, but the finish fourth is brilliant with all that's gone on behind the scenes. But if they do get knocked out in the round of 16, it's going to look bad on paper, but if you really understand what's happened, again, I've used the word and I'll use it again, absolute shambles.
Second period underway here. Benfica 1, Chelsea 1 on TalkSport 2. After that 2-hour weather delay, we are still playing here. Darkness will be descending in Charlotte fairly soon. This began as a mid-afternoon kickoff local time. Caicedo for Chelsea. Palmer clipped over the top for Cucurella, who could be in on the left, but he was just closed down as he played the ball in, and it's gone behind for a corner.
Yeah, need him to get in the game. He is one of those players for Chelsea where even from left back he can find a way to do something. This time bombing on down the left, winning the corner. I mean, you do get the feeling next goal wins it, but will there be another goal?
Well, it's been the sort of night where I don't think Chelsea would want penalties here.
No, going into penalties, Benfica would surely feel confident, and Chelsea feel as if it's just not meant to be their day.
Nat Colwell.
You can't feel like that, Nige, but it's only human nature to think like that.
Dewsbury Hall, though, for Chelsea, as they seek to go ahead again in this game. Neto, the cross from Palmer is a good one. Now, is there a penalty for Chelsea? Malagusto goes down. Enzo Maresca is outside the technical area, arms aloft, imploring the fourth official. Nothing given for now, but will Marco Di Bello have a look at that? Now it's been given away by Trubin, straight to Dewsbury Hall. Malagusto, square to Palmer. Palmer on the left foot, curls it, and it's wide. And will we see a VAR check for the way that Gusto tumbled there?
Doesn't look like it, the way the referee's going back into his position. You can see it was a little dink to the far post. There's definite contact there. He's put his arm across him.
But it was Nkunku, not Malagusto, but nothing given. But here is Palmer coming forward now for Chelsea, supported by Caicedo. Oh, it's been lost by Trubin. Nkunku, surely! And Nkunku gives Chelsea the lead. A terrible error by Anatoly Trubin. The ball swerved away from him, and somehow on the goal line it was bundled in by Christopher Nkunku. And Chelsea lead once again, and they are 12 minutes away from the quarter-finals of the Club World Cup, in a match they'll be talking about for years, for many, many reasons.
Just an incredible game. So many incidents, and we've waited so long, and we've still got enough time for Benfica to get back into it, but well done to Chelsea. First of all, winning the ball back. Moises Caicedo, how many times have we said that? He's played it into Cole Palmer. Back to Moises Caicedo, who's had a shot. It's not even a proper shot. Trubin, the quality keeper that he is, somehow it's gone under his right glove towards the left-hand side. And Nkunku then, along with the Benfica defender, both gone for the ball, Otamendi. And then Nkunku, fair play to him. He's realised straight away, he's got up quickly. He's been the first one to do that. He knows Otamendi's on the floor, so he's got to get it up. He's only 2 yards out, but he's turning. He gets it up. Trubin can't get in there. Otamendi can't stop it. What a big moment that is.
Nkunku scores his 15th goal of the season, and Chelsea once again are heading for the quarter-finals.
Hold on a minute, Nigel, we've still got 10 minutes left, haven't we? Anything can happen. It's one of those games. Benfica have already shown they've kind of opened up Chelsea in the counter-attack a couple of times. They've got to believe they can still do it, but surely that's the hammer blow.
Well, we have just over 10 minutes to play. Benfica 1, Chelsea 2. And Anatoly Trubin will not want to see that again, because he should have kept out the shot from Caicedo, but it squirted along the goal line, and Nkunku found the bounce of the ball favouring him, but he made it happen.
And I don't know if you can remember that far back as well, but the Reece James goal.
Yeah.
You know, it's a wonderful free kick, but really keeper shouldn't be beaten from that angle.
And Trubin clears downfield now, and Benfica have got to chase the game once again, and the last time they did that they had 2 hours to think about it in between. They don't now, or at least we hope not. Chelsea come forward again with Palmer. Back to Dewsbury Hall. Just need to keep the ball here.
Yeah.
And Palmer slits it through, nearly found Malo Gusto, who was on his way, but Benfica have it back. And then the challenge from Caicedo. And Caicedo needs to be careful here. Only a free kick given, no card. As Benfica charge forward now on the far side. The cross in though is too deep, and it swirls right through the penalty area. It'll be gathered again by Dahl on this near side, the left. Atakola. Infield again towards Otamendi. Otamendi drifted wide to the far side. Otamendi then made the dart into the penalty area. He halts to stay onside again. But Benfica with an opportunity here, and the low ball in is put over the top by Tosin, and it will be a corner kick.
I'll tell you what, that was a brilliant run down the outside, getting past Marco Correa. Levi Cole tries to read the cutback, and there wasn't one. And I'll tell you what, they're not giving up on this Benfica for sure.
Well, they've got a corner kick with 8 minutes to play on TalkSport 2. Benfica 1, Chelsea 2 the scoreline. Corner kick here for Benfica, into the near post, and Sanchez comes and claims at the second attempt, and he quickly bowls it out. And now Malo Gusto will lead the counter-attack for Chelsea. He's got Palmer on his outside. Neto hobbling on this near side, can barely move, which is not a good sign.
No, it's not. He's been a big player for Chelsea in this tournament.
And Chelsea just looking to maintain possession here.
Exactly what they've got to do, make the pitch as big as possible. Play Benfica, run around, don't chase it. If it's not on, just pass it. You've got the extra man, use it.
Now Gusto forward again to Nkunku, another player who's had real injury problems for Chelsea, and also found himself out of the side at times, but he's shown during his career, if he's given the service, he is a reliable goal scorer.
Yeah, I've been disappointed with him though in the second season. The first season, obviously, he had the injury. Second season, wanted him to be a lot more of a footballer than just a bit part player. And when he's come on as sub, I don't think he's done too well at all, but he has today.
Malo Gusto almost played it through to Palmer. Benfica taking one or two chances now. Antonio Silva going forward as a centre forward as they look for a free kick and don't get it. And here is Neto streaking clear. Palmer in the centre. Chelsea can win it here, and Neto does. He beautifully clips the ball over Trubin, and Chelsea, in the closing moments of a never-ending game, have finally set the seal on a quarter-final place in the FIFA Club World Cup. Neto continues his own personal journey in this competition, and Angel Di Maria's European career ends here and now, because Benfica will lose this game, and Chelsea, nearly 5 hours after this game started, have finally sealed their place in the quarter-finals.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what Otamendi was doing, but let's just say it's been a long night for him. He must be very, very tired. But the pass was always on. Just try and stop that pass. But they were so fragmented, the Benfica defence. He couldn't even try and play offside. Antonio Silva was dropping off a little bit more as well. The pass was made to Pedro Neto in the end, and then it was like, right, okay, we know you got the pace. We know you can get yourself into that position. Have you got the composure? And the answer was an emphatic yes.
Well, with the backdrop of a setting sun in North Carolina, the sun really has set on Benfica's challenge in the Club World Cup as they try and come forward to keep the game alive, and Chalobah, stooping to head the ball behind at the far post, has given Benfica a corner, but they've got less than 5 minutes here to score 2 goals with 10 men.
They're not giving up. I've been very impressed with them in the extra time.
Di Maria with a high ball to the far post, taken down well by Otamendi. Otamendi drives it back in. Antonio Silva's in there. Should have left it because Atakolu was behind him unmarked, and he looped the header into the arms of Sanchez.
Christopher Nkunku standing on the halfway line. No one's there. But because the kick was so long.
And now Palmer throws it through. Dewsbury Hall in on goal, and he makes it 4-1. And Chelsea finish with a flourish in a game which will be talked about for the 2-hour weather delay. Chelsea race clear of Benfica in the twilight, and they are heading into the quarter-finals in some style in the end. It's been a very difficult evening for all sorts of reasons, but Chelsea still very much a factor in the Club World Cup.
Yeah, and it was come from Benfica, getting a crossing, a header that was saved by Robert Sanchez. Christopher Nkunku was up there for sure. It was a bit too high, the kick, but by the time it came down, he was able to get the ball back down, and then a little pass to Dewsbury Hall, and quite similar to the Pedro Neto, although he had a Benfica player a lot closer to him. Showed great composure, dinking it over Truben. Look, it's not been a 4-1 game. I think it flatters Chelsea to a point, but Chelsea have been the better side. There shouldn't have been that break. I personally didn't think that should have been a penalty. I understand the laws of the game, but he has no idea where the ball is. Not intentional by any stretch of the imagination. So to go into extra time, but Cristiani getting sent off, that was a big one for Benfica, and Chelsea have been clinical.
And we welcome listeners from TalkSport who've joined us for the end of this game. 2 minutes to play. Chelsea leading by 4-1 now. 3 goals in the final 8 minutes of extra time. And another change has been made. And it's one of the young players, Aaron Anselmino, who has come on, the young Argentinian signed from Boca Juniors. And on the monitor we can see a shot of Angel Di Maria. He knows it's all over for him in European football.
You could tell he was telling himself, that's it, I'm done, this is my last game, this is my last night. We've got 90 seconds left. I hope the referee doesn't add any time. He has been done, he's done and dusted now.
Well, Angel Di Maria sent us into extra time with that penalty right at the end. If you've not been with us throughout the evening, for listeners on TalkSport, we had a 2-hour weather delay with 4 minutes of normal time to play. And when the game finally resumed, Chelsea were leading 1-0 at the time. Benfica equalised with a penalty from Angel Di Maria with an extra time following the red card for Gianluca Prestiani. Chelsea have pulled away. Pedro Neto, Kevin Dewsbury Hall and Christopher Nkunku have all scored. Chelsea scoring 3 times in 9 minutes. And they will go through to play Palmeiras in the quarterfinals next weekend. Back to Philadelphia for them. And they'll hope there is no lightning in the weather forecast.
And look, there's a bigger picture here, and ahead of the World Cup next year, I think the planning needs to be a lot better, a lot better. But
well, there is a reason why Charlotte play their Major League Soccer games in the evening at this time of year, and that's because there is often a risk of thunderstorms mid to late afternoon. When did this game kick off? 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Unbelievable. I mean, there's so many lessons to be learned. Just the 1 minute.
Single minute of added time at the end of extra time, at the end of a very long evening. This game kicked off at 9 o'clock UK time. We're now heading around to 20 to 2 in the morning, but Chelsea are finishing with the crowd who stayed in the stadium enjoying the relays. The crowd were all sent downstairs onto the concourses during the weather delay. Now Benfica will receive another yellow card for a rash challenge on the far side from Gravia. I think born of frustration. We'll now be planning for the flight home. The airport at Charlotte has had a number of flights delayed and cancelled due to the weather this evening. Bayern Munich are trying to get from Orlando to Miami before their game against Flamengo tomorrow, and they've not been able to take off, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. But here tonight, Chelsea are into the quarter-finals of the Club World Cup, beating Benfica by 4-1 in the end, 3 late goals in extra time. At one point it seemed this game would never end, but Chelsea finished with a flourish when it finally did, and they will meet Palmeiras in the quarter-finals next weekend. Another Brazilian challenge for Chelsea after dispatching Benfica. Full time, Benfica 1, Chelsea 4.